lovely to see everyone here present in this hall today on a Thursday evening. And with a very warm heart, I would love to welcome each one of you present here to the 19th edition of the Smart Office Summit. Smart Office Summit started off with a lot of focus on technology upgradation and technical integration of workspaces, but what it has evolved to now is something so much more holistic, and that is only because of the industry support contribution and the ideas that we've been growing with through this journey. With this, I'm not going to take much time. We are already running late, and I completely apologize for that. We had a lot of people still coming in. But I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Bibhor Srivastava, who is the Managing Director for Events at ITP Media India, to come on stage and deliver the opening address for the evening. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Bibhor Srivastava. All right, so before he comes on stage, we would love to give you a quick glimpse into what ITP Media is all about. So just to run you through our journey, I would love to have the AV.
Hello. Good evening and a very warm welcome to each one of you. And it's very heartening to see every time when you come back to Delhi, there's something that evokes so many emotions because जिसे कहते हैं कर्म भूमि है, It's all started many, many years back for me with Indian Express and other media houses. And this love for the city never stops. While I see the infrastructure of the city really on a massive urban modernization, urban mobility, but the heart of it, it's important to understand what are the buildings that will look for future, how we are going to address the need for the office ecosystem. And I wanted to share with you, commercial design happened as a very afterthought. And I would like you to give a hand to Rashmi Naikar, who's our editor, the firebrand she is, and our group publishing director, Indiji Sauji. When we look in this title, we said, what is that space which is really showing the potential? When we looked 10 years back with stars, we were not talking about this. I hope you agree with me. We were not aware where this ecosystem is going to be and how this industry vertical called office segment will boom. And now, all of us can see today, across the length and breadth of the country, even tier 2, tier 3 are opening offices every day. And the designers in this room and the asset owners and everybody has really tapped into the potential that is stores. I have a very dear friend in the hall today, my very dear Gaurav Singh, who's the president, Table Says, space here with me. And I know he's been an erstwhile hotelier. And when he made this transition, and I'm pretty sure that he sees that this is the future. Would you agree with me, Gaurav? That's right. So I have a lot of agreement in the room here. And I see commercial design as a magazine has become a torchbearer and a definitive guide for people to address the changing, evolving trends that we see in the office space. The other thing that I want to focus on, the growing markets essentially largely laid in the main metros. But you are very soon going to see the new markets, the emerging markets. What will harness the potential? And I have to say, the brands that are around here. If you look into 10 years back, lighting was not even considered. But today, I have seen the brand Havells. What is they bringing to the table? Today, the office space is no longer just the working space. It allows productivity, it allows innovation, it allows connections. So it allows seamless blend. On your right-hand side is the emerging Gen Z, and there are on your left-hand side people like me. So look at how do designers and people who are making these ecosystem, making sure that people like me blend with the Gen Z. So I think you have to transform your spaces. A space which makes the inhabitant happy, makes the productivity, and also you look up to leisure, fun, engagement, ideation, collaboration. So such is the power of you, people sitting in the room, who are bringing the whole ecosystem, creating these smart buildings, creating the agility in the building, deploying AI and technology to the fullest. But at the heart of it, as a media, what is our job? To remain neutral, to remain credible, to remain meaningful, and to make sure that we disseminate the information across the length and breadth of this country and every stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to give a discourse. I want to immensely thank each and every one of you for taking your time out and coming to be here together to make sure that Smart Office India Summit reaches the length and breadth of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vibhor, for that stimulating opening address and summing up this platform so very well for us. Now, taking this forward, just like Vibhor mentioned, events like this or initiatives like this are absolutely impossible without the support of industry and the peers across the industries also. And one such partner we have with us is Havells Professional Lighting. And lighting, unlike furniture or the aesthetics of an office, affects us at a very subconscious level. And we have with us Sudeshna Mukhopadhyay, who is the Vice President for Havells Professional Lighting, here to deliver the welcome address and also give us a quick glimpse into what and the impact of lighting in our industry. With this, Sudeshna, I would love to invite you on stage. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
Thank you very much. I think Vibor set the stage and I don't have much to add, but it's a sheer pleasure and a great honor to welcome all of you, ladies and gentlemen, today's evening event, for which Havells is a very happy to be a partner. 37 years in the lighting industry I have spent, but the pace of change, which is happening specifically in the commercial space, makes me still very excited to be part of the entire design process. When we started our career in lighting, it was all about energy efficiency. We then moved into well-being. Today we talk about wellness. So what's the difference? So we are not talking about psychological and emotional well-being alone. We are also talking about physiological and biological well-being. So there's a holistic part into it, and that is what about wellness in the space. We talk about sustainability, and sustainability is not limited to energy efficiency alone. Sustainability now encompasses a much larger space on the impact which we have of built environment, of all the services, in not only on human beings, but also on the environment, on plants and animals. Are we polluting the night light with too much of light, the night sky with too much of light? So light pollution is one part of the sustainability part. Recyclability, disposal, the entire cradle to grave cycle of any lighting product. These are many of the topics which are over there. Lighting specifications are going a lot of change. I'm not going to give you a lighting lecture, but just to set the context that I have never been seen this change happening at the space. As I speak, the National Building Code, the National Lighting Code, the Indian Standards, the Code of Practice for Interior Illumination, ECBC, which was earlier ECBC, and also the ESHRE standard IEBC, all are making changes in their codes, and all are now including wellness and sustainability as a big part of the code. So there would be regulatory changes as well, which is going to talk about wellness and sustainability. Today, with the keynote address and all the panel discussion, you will hear more about how we address all the challenges in commercial spaces. So I'm not going to really take much of your time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here, and it's been my pleasure and honor to welcome you on behalf of Havells. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sudesh. Now we are going to quickly have a look into an AV of Havells that they've presented to us.
The stress of competition is forcing company employees to spend more time at the office and many a times, late in the night. This somewhere desyncs people with local time and distorts natural system, which results in long-term health and behavioral issues, resulting in decreased efficiency. There are two ways to increase your output: either put in more hours or work smarter, and Havells knows how to work smart indeed. Always working proactively to make a difference to its customers' lives by introducing new technologies. Havells is now innovating human-centric lighting by taking advantage of LED's real-time color and light level changing capability. With Bluetooth CSR mesh technology, and is offering light solution as per the natural need to track circadian health. It's a scientific fact that light controls many biological responses like our internal body clock and the cycle of variation in the color and intensity of sun throughout the day. From amber and light to cooler and brighter and then warmer. This affects our alertness in a direct way. of photoreceptors in eyes. Rods and cones sense the bright and low light levels, signaling the brain to trigger the release of serotonin in day that boosts attention, and melatonin in night that promotes effective sleep. This creates circadian rhythm and supplements our physical and mental health. Havells has created a lighting system that follows the cycle of natural light, as experienced by humans, and is called circadian lighting, that enables people to perform at optimum levels, while contributing towards mind and body wellness. The system works by integrating light fixtures with daylight, and are designed to mimic the natural patterns of sun, with the help of tunable technology and automatic adjustment of intensity. In harmony with circadian rhythm, light color with blue wavelength in daytime are beneficial, as they improve alertness and increases productivity, and reduce fatigue and accidents at work at the same time. At night, the lighting system reduces the brightness, and color is changed to warm, signaling the body to relax. This new and innovative lighting system by Havells benefits any office space through increased productivity, improved health, improved alertness, reduced hyperactivity, and improved mood and behavior to generate more output from the employees. With this new innovative Havells lighting system's tunable white technology, discover a new way to increase efficiency, improve profits, and do business the smart way. Havells, making a difference.
Now that we've got to know the impact and the effects of lighting in our everyday life, not even just at work, I would love to call on stage Mr. Arup Chakravarti, who is the category head for Havells Professional Lighting, to take us through their portfolio of products and what they have with us to address each of these issues and the problems and the opportunities that Havells has presented here. With this, I would love to call on stage Arup. Yeah.
Good evening everyone. It is always pleasure to be here and share the updates, what is happening in lighting, because the stage is already set. We are always going through the regular changes, and in lighting, sustainability and well-being are very critical elements, because how we have seen the changes or importance what is happening in modern workspace, which can directly impact all the human beings, those who are working, occupying those spaces. Interestingly, how modern workspace is changing is very critical to start the discussion, because we have seen 1 decade before, or even 5 years before, there used to be always 100% occupancy in any modern workspace, and people used to work majorly through office. But what lately we are seeing, it's all about hybrid workstations. And if we are seeing all the design patterns, all of you are designing to cater this requirement is for this requirement. And it is not only applicable for one category or subcategory of the subsegments. If we are going deeper, as far the trend is concerned, starting from technology or science or media houses or even banking sectors, all large corporates are getting into those spaces, which actually caters the requirement for the wider spectrum of users. And it has been very proven, and also we are going through the journey and seeing in everyday's design patterns, which is happening is workspace is no more a workspace only to perform our task or deliver our day-to-day work. It is all about how we are well connected with our colleagues, how we can do collaboration, how even office spaces are all about how we can create a space which can help us to have an informal meeting. It is no more a formal spaces altogether. So it is a mix of everything. And when we are talking about the change, which is very clearly evident, is how each and every ecosystem which is involved in modern workspace are delivering the biological health improvement or what we call about well-being of user. So how well-being actually impacts, in basic language, what we see, like our human body is designed to react according to sunlight or color of sun. In the morning, we feel very fresh. In the night, we need to go and sleep. And in between, we are very energized to perform our day-to-day task. And if this cycle changes, it can create badly in our day-to-day life. And very interestingly, the survey or the study says the major road accidents, as an example, are happening. One of the big reason, the 10% reason is disturbing or our biological clock is being disturbed. So this is how harmful this situation is. And when we are in workspace, spending our 10, 12 hours of our daytime, we need to ensure that each and every employee or the user, those who are Gen Z, millennials, or those who are experienced of 30, 35 years, the complete spectrum of human being need to be taken care of. So that means the personalization and sustainability are very important parameter which need to be taken care of, and it is being taken care of. There are challenges to make it much more or more flexible, because the more flexibility brings lot of disturbances in workplace as well, but we are seeing the changes and how the balancing is happening throughout various type of sustainable controls as well. And we are seeing the adaptation of good lighting, which is actually triggering the human-centric part of the users. And not only the productivity, the wellness also is improving drastically, more than 30%. And across, may not be only in tier A city, also in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the implementation of fantastic personalized, well-being, well-standard, well-rated buildings are coming up, and we are being part of those lighting systems. What particularly has been visible in those lightings, particularly to control the color temperature, the tunability part, which actually helps the circadian rhythm of the human beings. The personalization, I can control my lighting, and that actually helps to make it much more flexible. And also how I can implement the harvesting of daylight. If there are glass facades, how I can bring those sunlights into our building. So through the tunability of light system, what the biggest advantage is, I can actually create or mimic the sunlight colors. Like in the morning, we can make the office space much towards the bluish spectrum, or in the evening towards the warmish spectrum. Or based on a human choice, they can actually changes the color to make it much more suitable as per his or her requirement. So what we were discussing in the beginning as well. So lighting is a very is element which is much more evident, which we can see, which we can feel, and light directly impacts our body, our productivity, our wellness. So so personalization is actually the key. So how it is being implemented, what are the areas or application areas where we can bring the flexibility can be decided based on the business pattern, based on your design intent. And we have going through the changes or implementations through lighting, where across the categories, be it healthcare, if I consider hospitals, it has been seen that multiple hospitals are implementing sustainable and well-rated lighting system to ensure that the curing process of a patient is being taken care of. Maybe for education, how the students are being always alert or in office spaces, it is very, very most evident the how all the employees are being taken care of as far as their productivity, also their well-being is concerned, the biological well-being also is concerned. So in well-rated things, so lighting actually is very, very prominent element which actually directly helps to implement that. And when we are talking about lighting, other than other element or ecosystem stuff, so most important thing is the quality of light, how we are controlling the direct glares, how we are implementing the tunability part, how we can make it much more flexible as far as dimming and color tunability is concerned, how I can bring much more daylight into the building through daylight harvesting. So these are the critical questions we always need to think, and there are patterns of implementations in lighting are very clearly evident in today's design things, what we are going through. And when we are talking about quality of light, most important thing are the glare control. Like we are talking about UGR 16, UGR 13, UGR 11 for direct workstations. We are talking about flicker-free lighting. We are talking about higher color rendering index, which actually helps us to collaborate well. We can talking about good quality of color consistency on LEDs. So these are very prominently being used. These specifications are drastically changing, and the complete solutions in terms of luminaires are not only through direct specifications, even design patterns, because end of the day, lighting luminaires are most visible element, and it has to actually directly get integrated with the design concept or design language. So we have the system which actually can follow the furniture, the flexibility of lighting in terms of not only the performance, what we talk about in terms of dimming or tunability, but also in terms of shapes. Because once the shape is aligned with the layout or the furniture or the application areas, it actually gets directly integrated with the system. So these are typical installation where not only the functional lighting, also the collab areas are getting lit and getting controlled with personalized ecosystem. So not only direct typical aesthetic designs, but the designs which actually can create a complete differentiation in designing the workspace is also very evident as of now. So these lights are not only creating a good, well-rated office spaces, but also can integrate the very well-rated standards or these design places. So even not only indoor, because campuses also are becoming very prominent, where it is always important to cut off the lights. We should always able to control the outdoor luminaires as well. So not only for the indoor, also for outdoor, the themes are becoming very, very critical, which actually helps not only the users but other habitats as well. So this is how the lighting is becoming very prominent element in the whole ecosystem. So thank you very much. If we have any comments or remarks, we are always there, and we'll have one-to-one discussions as well, and we'll see how the panels are also happening, and we'll have a detailed discussions throughout the sessions. Thank you very much.
Havells India presents Impressions, a range of superior glare-free architectural lighting solution that simulates a productive working environment and offers limitless design possibilities. From recessed to suspended, Havells' versatile Impressions range allows architects and designers to fully unleash their creativity and to perfectly illuminate every type of office layout.
These human-centric luminaires mimic the variance of natural light color throughout the day, replicating the sun indoors with dim warm light in the morning, bright white light during noon, and dim warm light by evening. These ergonomic lights have been shown to significantly increase productivity, creativity, health, and well-being in the office environment, and provide the benefits of natural light even to windowless offices. At the heart of the impressions range technology is human comfort and health. They have extremely low unified glare rating of less than 6 for indirect light and less than 10 for direct light. Impressions range is also compatible with various smart control platforms like PoE, Tally Analog, and wireless RF technology. With this, we are able to obtain real-time data analysis of occupancy and system health, space optimization, and set up preferable ambient scene setting. The top-of-the-line Mirage series features slim LED profiles that stand out for their near-to-invisible light source and highly efficient and clean design. The Mirage range features high transmittance, special micro-reflector optics with deglaring covers, which give the incredible effect of focused glare-less task light, yet ensuring good uniformity and vertical illumination without any visible light source. Aside from being standalone suspended fixtures, they are perfect for continuous row mounting to create virtually endless and seamless lines of light. With customized connectors, designers can create innumerable light configurations and patterns. Special micro-reflector optics with deglaring covers have been added to the design to achieve precise low-glare task light without compromising on vertical illumination and ambient lighting. Mirage F is a freestanding light with near-to-invisible light source and clean-cut aesthetics. Mirage F features an inbuilt occupancy and daylight sensor and specially developed touch control panel for individual on-off dimming and color tuning, making personalized human-centric lighting accessible for individual workstations, private cabins, and desks. These high-efficacy lights also have an up-down feature which allows focused task light and a wide indirect light, ensuring great uniformity over the space. The Crescent LED has a graceful curvilinear design with a distinctive half-moon shape. The elegant luminaire provides soft, symmetric, and ultra-wide direct light distribution over the workspace. It meets UGR less than 19 across the line of sight of occupant. The Stellos are slim LED profiles that can be recessed, mounted, or suspended. With UGR less than 19, these lights are perfect for seamless row mounting or limitless creative designs. These donut and circular luminaires come in multiple sizes and have an effective height of 70 mm, delivering diffuse planar and low glare light in high ceiling areas. The unique shape of both torus and mounder gives the fixture an attractive identity and is a perfect match for modern workspaces. This precision-formed decorative panel light with protruded thermoformed PMMA diffuser blends high creative design with state-of-the-art LED technology. Its stylish geometry and perfectly diffused illumination makes it an ideal choice for modular system ceilings. Three-dimensional diffuser adds beauty and enhanced illumination. The Venus range of low-glare LED recessed panels has extremely low glare level. They offer human-centric lighting and support human circadian rhythm. The product features color tuning from 3000 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin with precise control on tuning and dimming. With inbuilt occupancy and daylight sensor, the product has a self-learning feature of occupant light preference and maintains desired lux level. Havells Impressions Range, the new paradigm of architectural lighting.
Now, that we've seen what lighting is all about. And like I said, here at Smart Office, we try to make it a bit more holistic and trying to bring and enlighten our peers here about different aspects that go into the building and making of a workspace. And one such obviously is lighting. The other is security. And in lights of the events that happened in Kolkata especially, and that's shaken our nation, we've come to realize security in workspaces, in institutional, be it educational, be it healthcare, is such a critical factor. And this aspect has been underplayed time and again. And we have with us one such industry member to give us a quick glimpse into a factorial aspect of how security can be changed and improvised within workspaces. And for this, I would love to call on stage Mr. Harjeet Singh Bagga, who is the Manager for Sales and Territory Business Lead at Dormakaba, India. Mr. Harjeet, I would love to call you on stage to give us a glimpse into what Dormakaba is about. But before that, I would love to share a short AV about the company.
Humans are social beings. We create buildings and cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect, stay, and love. Places to care for the generations that came before us while welcoming the next. Places to let our children grow and learn. To experience amazing moments, to step into new adventures. We are where our communities come together, from places across town or across the world. Places that matter most to all of us. We provide safety, security, and sustainability to these places for people to move seamlessly and shape their lives. This is what our societies require. This is what has driven us for more than 150 years. This is why our customers put their trust in us. For every place where we learn or rest, for every place where we get inspired or create memories, for every place where we build a career or start a new chapter, for every place that shapes a community. For every place that matters.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dormakaba, I am Harjeet Bagga, giving you a slight overview of the company, the kind of a product we are into, and what a beautiful theme selected by ITP, that is creating next-gen spaces. So definitely, Dormakaba is going to be a part of your creativity, your vision, where exactly we are going to give you our complete product range. To start with, like a global essence, local presence. We are in India for the last 25 years, and globally we are more than 150-year-old company. So giving the solutions worldwide for each and every vertical. So this is Office Summit, and definitely we will be giving you the brief view. Yeah, sorry. Like the market India, we are present in Nepal, Bhutan, India of course, Bangladesh, Chennai is our headquarters, Maldives and Sri Lanka. Our R&D center is in Chennai, and we are aggregated with the number of certifications. NABL is one of them. Like we have divided, we are having a team of experts. Experts like we are a team of architectural specifications. We're a team of product management. Project management also. We're into the surveys, marketing, communication, and yes, of course, the business development. Like this, the office, the most important part is the access industry is changing. We are moving towards a touchless system. We want everything to be done digitalization. Earlier we used to go for a mechanical system, but now everybody wants much more ease. They want to operate each and everything with the help of your phone. So like a touchable access, we are shift to the electromechanical, integrated, connected components, access as on service, mobile and a biometric authentication, and yes, of course, a merger of access and the flow. So you go there, there will be a seamless, if you go to any airports, like a Digi Yatra system, you register yourself and you are having a seamless flow till the complete boarding gate. Yes, to start with, the first thing, yes, we want a barrier system. We want that it has to be operated manually or maybe a digitalization. You can have a tag on your system and you can access it. And yes, we are into the barrier system. We are into full height turnstile barriers with access control system also. The touch-free access to the entrance of the building, yes. We are into the revolving door system. We are into a telescopic system. We are into the much more commodity, like a commodity use automatic sliding system also. Aesthetic security is sustainable solution for every lobby. Always open, always closed, the revolving door system. The PAL system, where you can have a much more access, where you have to give a control way to the person who is going to enter in your office space or any of the buildings also. Again, a very controlled way. Nowadays, a number of the office system, they are having this kind of a system, a tripod barriers, the flap barriers. You go to the airports, you go and you happen to see all those flap barriers. So yeah, there you are having a very controlled system. You can avoid a tailgating system. You can control the flow of the traffic for your building. Every building nowadays going for this kind of a system. A slight, a video, you can have a look of the video also. Sorry. Can you play the video?
The Argus V60 offers the smallest footprint of any optical turnstile in the market today. Argus V60 offers a footprint less than 10 inches, providing the ability to fit into the tightest of spaces, integrating into your access control system and ensuring tailgate detection. Available in a variety of color options, V60 offers the same architectural design elements as the rest of our Argus line. The ergonomically positioned scan plate and status lights have been installed on the front of the turnstiles for better visibility and ease of use. Current optical turnstiles in the market detect passage using horizontal and/or vertical sensors that capture an array of roughly 15 to 30 points. This can create blind spots within the sensor array that lead to false alarm triggers or unrecognized tailgating attempts. Argus V60 offers a more effective solution. Using vertically positioned sensors, the V60 generates a more complete sensor capture, while Dormakaba's SenseLive analyzes the shapes of the array to differentiate between multiple people or objects within the lane. Pairing the more detailed sensor information captured by the V60 with SenseLive is what allows the V60 to effectively differentiate between a true tailgating attempt, a person carrying a large bag, or two people walking closely together.
So moving to the next, like we are into the access control system, we can give you a cylinder which can be operated with the help of your Bluetooth technology. Very easy. There is no need to carry any key or something. No need to carry a card also. You can operate it with the help with your Bluetooth technology, BLE. We are having a number of kind of readers for your office space system. So depending upon your usage, we can give you a complete detailed plan where exactly you need a access control system, where you need a controlled way. So everything will be a very controlled. This is the basic range. Yes, we are known for these kind of products, the hardware system, the door closer, the floor machines. The most commonly, everybody is aware about this, Dormakaba started with a door control system. We are into this special features, yes, we are into the fire rated system, CE certificate, EPD certificate, we are American Disability Act certified also, international standards, EN 1154, EN 1155. These are the mortise locks, the pull handles, your lock bodies, hinges. We are into the concealed hinges also. For a fire-rated doors, we are, yes, of course, for a panic bar. This is again a very unique system, especially for the buildings, like the office spaces also. Can you please play the...
Dormakaba presents One Campus, One Key. Tomorrow's technology today with Dormakaba's Master Key System. Designed to make access easier and more secure at the same time. The benefits of One Campus, One Key.
The benefit is like you can have a number of keys depending upon the floor, depending upon the buildings, and a grand master key also. So no need to carry or having keys for all the rooms or all the floors.
Dormakaba presents One Campus.
So for a specialty, like for a special abled people, like we are into the restroom solutions also. So it is very difficult for a person who are coming on a wheelchair. So you can give an access. So very easily he can access into that restroom partitions. And then after going inside, he can lock it also. And the other person, he'll be getting those complete signal that yes, the person is inside that restroom. So another very useful for your office space system, that is a demountable partition system. Number of companies are there into this kind of a profiles, slim line profiles. There is a DGU kind of a concept. The single glaze units are there. But of course, why we are better than others? Yes, we give you the complete integrated system. Not only the profiles, we give you the complete hardwares. Hardwares with the complete seals. So no need to go to any other vendor or any other OEM. We'll be giving you the complete system where exactly you will be getting all and every complete detailing by our specification team members also. Where you need better acoustics, we can propose our double glaze systems with the integrated locks. And you can have access control system in those profiles also. You can have a profiles with your wooden door. You can have a profiles with the clear glasses. You can have this kind of a bend also. Now, this is our partition system where you need a hall to be divided into 2 or 3 parts. Like in a perfect example is a banquet hall where you can have a partition system. You can have functions 2 or 3 at a single time. For office also, you can have a meetings 2 or 3 meetings at a single time. We can give you a semi-automatic. We can give you a movable also. We can give you a concealed also. So this is the complete, a fully automatic movable wall, where all the seals will retract automatically. And you can have a transparent glass also. You can have a blind also in that glass. You can have a pass door also. And this is our another system where the semi-automatic horizontal movable walls are there. The person has to move all those panels. The seals will come automatically. It will lock. Very easy to move. Oh, sorry. We'll go fast. And this is the automatic vertical movable walls also. It will be concealed inside the system. A lot of times, just it will go up. Yes, we are having a partnership with each and every certifications are there. We are eco-friendly. And we are even contribute to the United States Sustainable Development Goals also. Thank you so much. And you can, like this is a very short time, but we have to give you the complete, not a complete detailing, but just an overview. And we are having a very small setup over there. And we'll request that once we are through with that, please visit and you can have a much more interactions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bagga. Now, coming to one of the most important segments of this evening, actually, which is the keynote address, and it's with absolute and immense pride that I would love to introduce this architect who is renowned for his innovative approach and commitment to transformative architectural design. He shaped so many of the most landmark buildings across India, and I would love to introduce architect Sanjay Singh, who is the director at RCOP. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for him taking his time out. To give a quick introduction about him, architect Sanjay Singh possesses over 27 years of experience in the architectural profession, having key experience in designing state-of-art buildings in almost all disciplines. Architect Sanjay's key projects include the Bharat Mandapam, the Yashobhumi EPC design, the Bharat Vandana Park, Labanim, also the JP Institute of Information and Technology, and the most recently completed the redevelopment of the Pragati Maidan, which also integrated the exhibition cum convention center. With such landmark projects under his sleeve, I would love to have him on stage and give us a glimpse into his design ideologies and design process. It's an honor to have you here, sir. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to architect Sanjay Singh. That's your
Sure. Thank you. So, good evening, everybody. And thank you for inviting me. That was some kind words. You also made me 5 years younger. From 32 to 27 years of experience. Thank you for that. So, I've been asked to talk on the nature of work and workspaces. So we've tried to put together a small, it's more a thought, process, which I'll share with you. So, when we talk about workspaces, we thought let's start with some fun. We all know Dilbert. And, he said, I cried because I did not have an office with a door until I met a man who had no cubicle. That's what the workspaces of the yesteryears were. This is from an era when offices had doors and cubicles. And, we looked at what these offices really were and, where are we right now and where are we to go, from here. So the open offices, this was 1950s. This is what a typical large American office would look like. And that, sort of transformed itself into action offices, sometimes in 1970s, people into stockbroking and analysis, etc. And then came the cube offices, 1980s. This was the start of those open office, semi-enclosed cubicle sort of offices. And that gave way to the hybrid offices, 2020s, which is, what we're looking at right now. And then we, like I said, we talk about these offices being generated from the American way of working. Is there an Indian context? And we looked at examples of the Indian, office workspaces. And I couldn't find a more appropriate, contextually relevant office complex than the India Habitat Center, belonged to one of the gurus of architecture, which we also followed, Joseph Allen Stein. This is the India Habitat Center. And then came, which was supposed to be the advent of the modern Indian offices, the Jeevan Bharati building in Connaught Place, more of a curtain wall revolution which was happening at that point of time. And then, we come to where we are right now. We are all familiar with these images of the cyber city at Gurgaon, Millennium City. All the 50s till 2020s transformation that we've seen had all of them had the constants, which were there, and then there were the variants which would come in and sort of start creating the differentiation that we see in the offices today. The efficiency, which has been there, that was the hallmark of all workspaces. Everybody wanted to ooze out every square inch, of the office complexes, and that became even more stringent as you went along. So, the net usable area against the gross floor area, because these are, aspects which are dependent on how you would design. And, one of the recent examples that the firm had done is the DLF downtown, which is in Gurgaon. This, I would say, is an exercise which literally demonstrates how you can, bring in modularity, the leasability, and a huge uptick in terms of the net usable area and the efficiencies, of built-up areas. Modularity, this is the JP corporate office, now the Access House. It was a modular way of looking at things because the group for whom we were designing was a multi, verticals group. So they were looking at something which would like capture the entire, group's ethos, but still have different verticals, have their different identities. So these were 6 boxes which were put together under a huge parasol and created an atrium. So that's the, front image. So you can see the 3 boxes up front, 3 boxes at the back. Last 10 years, how it has gone is the workplaces really have graduated from not being only workspaces, but they, carried the concept of integrating your requirements and the way you live. So it integrated the retail. This is an example of an office project which came to be known more for its retail and its F&B experience of how you could create a wholesome experience in an office complex. This is the Bharti World Mark in Sector 65. This is again designed by us. So what you see at the back are basically the office spaces, and what you see up front is a typical, let's say, evolution of a food street, okay, and then integrated very well with bridges, etc., into the complex. And this became a very successful project, which led to the evolution of what we are doing right now, right next doors in the AeroCity, which is the World Mark II, the World Mark 5, 6, 7, which is going on right now under construction. So it's the same group that we are working for. And then, you look at the concept of sustainability, which came into the workspaces. Some of the examples of how, you sort of bring in that, okay? Now, our belief is that these workspaces of modern, world have become basically change makers, right? They have started, inspiring people who work, in these spaces to be able to carry these concepts back home and, adopt them in their everyday life. I'm reminded of an example, which took place after COVID in the US, where they said if you live nearby the workplace, and if you, instead of coming by your car, you come by your cycles, all right, we will award you $100 a week extra if you come by your bicycle 3 days in a week. Well, the Desis got better of them. They put those cycles back of their trucks. They parked their trucks in the next office and they cycled back home. So, well, yes, it was inspiring people to carry that concept further. That's, again, another example of sustainability. It's a building which is not the most modern building, in terms of time when it was built, but this is the New York Times headquarters in Manhattan. And why this building is important with respect to sustainability and how it sort of, inspired people to take it back home and say that, look, we are going to adopt this, is that this building has used the concept of sunlight or daylight, all right, which is very important. We think sun is a problem. For the Western world, sun is a blessing. They want the daylight. So what they've done is they've automated the entire lighting system, okay, with the real-time movement of the sun. So as the sun moves, the curtains go up and down, right, and the lights dim from 10% of their, wattage to about 100% of their wattage. So when the sun is on the other side, the curtains open and the lights are at 10%. So you save on electricity. And since you do that, Okay, this has inspired people to take this concept home and adopt the lighting automation into their lifestyles. Okay, that's why I say that the modern workspaces have and must become agents of change. And this is a concept which is moved in new into the workplaces, which is the concept of wellness. Okay, so people have started adopting gymnasiums, lifestyle workings, bookshops where people come by, they read, and they spend time. Art installation, this has also come into the workplaces. And this is, why I say that these are really agents of change, which are inspiring people to, one, get introduced to the concept of sustainability, wellness, health, and how to work in a modern environment, and sort of take that and adopt them into their lifestyles. Landscape courtyards, it is a concept which has been there for many years. It has become even more relevant today because of the climate change that we talk about. So we've created these landscape courtyards within the buildings. There are projects that the firm is doing right now, wherein we have made the landscape as a part of the fabric of the project itself. And then, we all know the amount of time that the woman has to take and the men have to take off from work to look after the newborns. And this has brought in a facility where these young parents can get the child to the working environment itself, and there's a creche where they can work as well as they can look after the children. And then auditorium, which leads to cultural as well as presentation facilities. And like I said, the focus is now getting from besides sustainability and technology into amenities, which we just spoke about. Spaces have become more interactive, right? The focus is becoming more on the human touch instead of just working. We were discussing when we were making this presentation, I don't know, one of my colleagues who made it, Anubhav is there in the audience, if you really analyze, out of 24 hours, 50% of your time actually is being spent in the offices. You're working for 8 to 9 hours, and because of these amenities, because of the opportunities to entertain, to dine, to interact have grown. These 8 to 9 hours have gone to 10 to 11 hours, right? So these become very important spaces of how they sort of modulate a person's response, and how he's able to integrate these modern elements. And like we said, co-working spaces are planning to take this concept at a different level, wherein they say, look, we have to be really, really efficient, okay, but we also want to adopt all these amenities and technology and sustainability into our system. So I think it's a perfect example, because co-working spaces, they're giving you these spaces per square feet, almost per desk. And they have to be very, very efficient, otherwise, they go out of business. So, really the concept has gone from a typical workplace to how, you're shaping entrepreneurship skills within these office buildings. People have started, realizing that young businesses, they need money, all right? And they don't have money. And that's a paradox. So they have these young boys and girls, who would work as entrepreneurs at cafes also, and really have a co-shared spaces, then instead of having rented office spaces, and work as entrepreneurs. So, it's developing those skills in people who come and work here. So imagine, an office entrance lobby which is surrounded by cafes and co-working spaces. So what we're really trying to say here is that the modern, office spaces have really graduated themselves from just being the go-to workspaces to become a more wholesome space, where you can really take care of all your requirements, all your needs of the day, instead of stepping out. Now, in a small manner, that is also help the environment, okay? Because You don't travel as much, you can get your needs done at one location. So, that saves you a lot of energy. And we said, what really, is happening around the world. If you look at Apple Park, it's a fantastic, stunning design, no doubt. But it is an epitome of sustainability. And these office spaces have actually come to define, okay, instead of getting defined by the firms that have made it. So Apple really is one of the most sustainable, practices in the world. They have looked at sustainability and climate, from a very different perspective. And that's why they created the Apple Park right in the middle and, gave it this shape, which was very equal. Circle is the most, most balanced form. The building generates more energy than it consumes. So it's net energy positive, not only net energy zero, all right? It has created the concept of wellness within it, and it's a full facility where all your needs are taken care of. So you have creches, you have baby centers, you have cafeterias and dining spaces and retail and grocery and what have you. So that is the whole idea of making the employee feel, that it is you in focus, and it is with that thought that the, office has been created. So what is really the future? So we are saying that, are the future workplaces commute worthy? All right. Will they be good enough to, travel by commuting 30, 40, 50 minutes of your time? All right. And how can that be achieved? And this is all culmination of what we just spoke about, bringing all of that together into one working space, right? So there has been, like I said, a big shift that has been happening over the years. It's happened over the last 50 years, okay? Sustainability, we've gone from net zero buildings to net positive buildings, all right? We're looking at green buildings. In terms of technology, there is no end. We're looking at high speed technology, digital twins, Internet of Things, neural computing. Culture is one part where we score over. So we said that our spaces, our workspaces, like I gave you the example of some of the projects that we're doing, it has differentiated itself, from how across the world people have been making glass boxes. I'm recently doing a project, for the Max Group, and that has, worked on the concept of our cultural streets, okay? And we've created those streets with the ambience of retail, all right, and the other amenities. But at the same time, we've done it in a manner that the scale and the proportions of these streets is such that they make one building shade the other building, so that you can bring down the energy needs of the building, right? And of course, the space, which treats the employee as the focus. We have mixed uses, and it has brought in technology in the workplace as the focus. So what exactly are we looking at? Are we looking at an employee happiness, or are we looking at an employee's satisfaction? Because now the employee is really being used as a consumer, and in this whole process of talking big about how these offices are really targeting their the worker and how everything is focused on them, is also the hidden agenda of recognizing that these employees are actually, end of the day, consumers, right? So you've created all these spaces in a way that the employee who's coming to work and make money is actually being made money from, okay? So that's a very interesting concept, and I think it works in a very, very symbiotic sort of a relationship. So we also looked at the concept of, what might happen in the future. There are many, many designs which have experimented with the concept of, can you blend office with home? I know it's a very, it's easy to say, it's a very difficult, concept to really actualize, but it's a possibility, okay, where we say, can you blend office with homes? So, पहले कहते थे ना, नीचे पान की दुकान ऊपर गोरी का मकान, that is what we are talking about. So, can you create shared spaces in the building where people live, and then they come down? And even if you can do that with about 30% or 40% of the people, I think you make a huge dent into the whole system, right? Satellite offices, this is a concept which really has been, sort of catalyzed by COVID. We know before COVID, we thought, face-to-face meetings is a must. You have to have that face-to-face connect. Well, the entire world is connecting over the internet today, and the face-to-face connect is taking a, sort of a back seat, right? Because, like I said, good design is good business, and it is good business for people who are making these offices, the organizations, which are running their businesses out of these offices, but also in the other direction, that your employees are actually your customers also, So it's a symbiotic relationship two ways. So offices really becomes agents of change. We said, like I said, provision and incentive for commuting through e-bikes, the desis, got the better of them, but that's okay, the concept remains. And then offices of the future, we say, will become hubs of innovation and social interaction, right? Rather than work. And really, I don't have an answer, but I think these spaces are also really going to become more important than they really are right now, because the artificial intelligence is going to take over, right? And if you can make the smart artificial intelligence work for you, well, that's not too smart for them. But if you can make it work for you, then you obviously have more time on your hands, and you become a bigger customer and a bigger consumer, right? So less formal space in the future as servers are getting eliminated, and more informal spaces because there's somebody else, technology is doing a lot of work for you. And adaptive reuse of buildings to make an office really a non-office, which is what I've been talking about. That can you really take that that character of it being a very structured office space to something which is more accommodative to you, and you feel that this has been done for you, okay? So you may not do a lot of your work fully as a 9-5 employee by 2035, but you may be actually working in the gig economy, or you may have 3 to 4 gigs, working at the same time. So, that these are just, like I said, this is not really a presentation. These are just, we were just trying to crystallize some thoughts that I had on, what the spaces were, what they've become, and what they may become in the times to come. And I think it's very important for all of us to understand, how this is going, because it's going to directly affect the future generations to come. So that's all I had to say. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Okay, all right.
Thank you so much, Architect Sanjay, for such an amazingly thought-provoking keynote address. We couldn't have asked for more. And once again, thank you for taking your time and efforts, for joining us and sharing all your experiences with us. I would love to call on stage Mr. Vidya Shankar Krishna, who is the Vice President for Marketing at Havells Professional Lighting, to give away a small token of appreciation from our end. I would love to, please, sir, if you could take a stage. Yes. Sure. Okay. Just on public demand, so one question we would like to take from the audience. So I'm going to quickly give it to him.
No, listen, it's not even a question. Have you heard about Bharat Mandapam? Yes or no? Would you like to hear for the man who did this project, which is big? Yeah. Just some touch on Bharat.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I missed the opportunity of thanking Anubhav, who's here right now, who helped me put this presentation up for you guys. Thank you, Anubhav. So You want me to talk about Bharat Mandapam? Do you have the time? I could go on and on, no problem. Okay, Saransh mein batate hain. So, when we started working on this project, the brief that I had got from the government was, this has to be an iconic project, okay? And I happened to ask somebody, I said, and what do you define as an icon as? And there was a bit of a pin drop silence. So he says, no, something which people wow at. We said, okay, that we understand that. And I was given some images of, buildings from abroad with a lot of glass and steel and, all kind of things. And we said, look, these are icons, no doubt, but these are icons of the Western world. These are not my icons, right? Can I really bring in icons which are going to define India? And we said, this is a fantastic opportunity that we have here, where we will have leaders of the entire world come and hold these conventions in the buildings that we design. So can we really introduce this entire world gathering to what really India is, okay? And that's what got us started. We said, we have to look at symbols of what this country is all about, okay? And what this particular site was all about. So if you know about Pragati Maidan, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who belong to Delhi know it, has Yamuna, flowing next to it. And that really gave us the first idea about, what this project form really should be. And we were looking at the images for something to get inspired of, and, we chanced to come across this image of, Ganga and Yamuna, which were originating from a particular point, and then, they were flowing down, and, so that image sort of kicked something inside us, and we said, can we really make it, okay, on those lines? Because this site had the Yamuna flow within the site probably 200 years back. And then it receded back to be about 1 kilometer or so. So we said, let's pay homage to that, right? And that's what led us to do this form, which was the elliptical form, and which had, if you notice, these two giant ramps which would come down, and they would, come in and culminate into the drop-off. And then we said, let's lift the building up, all right? So we lifted it up by about 6 meters, but we wanted to see the India Gate from there. And at 6 meters, all I could see was the tree lines. So we said, no, what do we do? So we said, let's lift it up even more. So we lifted up another 6 meters, and then we lifted up another 6 meters, and we realized we're not seeing anything. Then we said, all right, so we took a drone, we lifted it up, and we realized that the first sites of the India Gate canopy that we could see was at a good 24 meters. So we said, fine, that's where we are going to put it. So we lifted the whole building up, and we created this, balcony which we called the window to Delhi. And if you today go to Bharat Mandapam, if you go to the top level, which is the level 4, and you step out onto the balcony, you will not only see the canopy of the India Gate, but you will see the entire Kartavya Path or Rajpath and the domes of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So we said, this is really not anything but a gesture to respect, what has been a fantastic heritage of Indian architecture, which is existing, in Delhi. And then we said, how do you bring in, the Indian culture and the Indian heritage into every fabric of the building? And I'll tell you, what we did while designing this building was, we said, everybody talks about art, everybody talks about culture, and, what do we have? We design the buildings, and then, you would come up with a painting which would be put on the wall, so that's my sort of respect for the culture and the art. So we said, let's try to change that. So we, the first plans that we did, we started creating courtyards within those. And these are semi-open courtyards. So when you get into the lobby at the level 1 drop-off, or the level 2 drop-off rather, okay, you see this semi-covered, okay, glass courtyard, which we call the cultural courtyard, and that has the Tree of Life and the India Rising, artworks which have been incorporated into that, right? Every level that you see, we've tried to, bring in the Indian art, right? We collected fabrics from all over India, chikankari, pochampalli, Kanjivaram silks. My wife loved me at that time. She said, "Sare apne, fabrics utha liye." And we overlaid that with the Indian, jalis, and we created these artworks, which became the level 1 artworks. We fused the, Madhubani paintings with the brass art of Muradabad and the marble works of Agra. We fused them together and we put them there, right? We looked at the G20 convention hall and we said, can we bring in the ethos of what Lutyens Delhi is? And, we created these stone facades within the G20. And when we had done that, we realized what a challenge we've created for ourselves, because it made my acoustics awful, right? So we said, how do you handle this? So we, created these fabric ceilings and, which don't really look like fabric ceilings, and brought in the fabric and the acoustic material behind the jalis, etc. We created doors which were inspired from the third eye of Shiva, all right? And if I get an opportunity, I would love to take you guys there and show you, what those doors really, were inspired from. So the idea was that every small nook and corner, we were trying to look at how we can introduce the, culture and the heritage and the arts and crafts of people in the villages, right? That was our idea. And when, people in the G20 came, I remember this was said by one of the delegates from Brazil, I believe. Brazil is holding the next G20. So I met him and he said, I love the building, but I hate you. I said, why would you say that? He says, because you just made our job so much more difficult. You've done this building, what do we do there? So, just some anecdotes, but thank you for listening and thank you.
Thank you, sirs, for that brilliant insight into what this landmark building and its architectural design was all about. We'll move on to the next segment of the evening. And like I mentioned, we've been exploring different elements. And the next element that we've come to explore is the seating solutions in office spaces. And as you know, it has its own varied impact on our physical being, on our well-being, on our productivity, everything that comes together within simple chair. And to give us some insights into what the modern office seating solutions are evolving to be, we have with us Mr. Subodh Methani, who is the Product Marketing Manager at Wipro Seating Solutions, to give us a quick glimpse into their products and portfolio. With this, Subodh, I would love to call on stage. And while he's there, we would love to play a short AV about the company.
Welcome to the future of seating, where innovation meets comfort. Welcome to Wipro Seating Solutions. Since 2004, Wipro Furniture has crafted seating that stands the test of time. Our mission was simple: create chairs that make a lasting impression, both in style and comfort. In 2021, we embraced a new direction, evolving into Wipro Seating Solutions, an ergonomics-centric brand with a fresh, youthful spirit, built to serve India's dynamic workspaces. From sleek office chairs to personalized seating selections, our range combines premium ergonomics with contemporary style tailored to keep young India moving forward. At Wipro Seating Solutions, innovation is at the heart of what we do. Every chair is meticulously crafted to provide you with the ultimate ergonomic support, keeping you comfortable, energized, and ready to take on the day. Guided by the spirit of Wipro, we prioritize client success, trust, and reliability. Our core values inspire every decision, helping us build strong partnerships and spaces where people thrive. more than just seating, we're focused on creating work environments that enhance productivity and well-being, so you and your teams can perform at your best every day. With over 20 years of experience, serving 2 million users, delivering 10 lakh chairs across India, and backed by 5,000 plus happy customers, Wipro Seating Solutions is one of the fastest growing brands in the country. From metros to smaller towns, we have a pan-India presence bringing world-class ergonomic seating solutions to every corner of the nation. At Wipro Seating Solutions, innovation is embedded in everything we do. We continuously strive to bring you the best in ergonomic solutions designed to enhance comfort, support, and well-being for all. We're proud to be the fastest growing Indian premium seating brand shaping the future of how young India works, rests, and grows.
Good evening, everyone. This is indeed an opportunity to present Wipro Seating Solutions in front of all of the people, especially from the design fraternity who understands the overall use as well as the overall productivity which needs to be there when it comes to the products. And Wipro Seating Solutions, as well as in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the overall utility and how exactly we worked to develop certain products. If I tell you, in reality, products are not the crux of the matter. It is the intent that we have in our minds. So that's what we're going to speak about. We make products for your well-being as well as productivity. And when we say so, we have got a strong recommendation within ourselves, right? We've been forced by ourselves as well as our team itself that we have to continue working towards the well-being and productivity of the users, and simultaneously we have to be dedicated towards it. But the question comes that why we are thinking in such a way? What's the reason? And there are 3 reasons majorly. The first one is everybody loves action. That's true. Be it an entrepreneur, be it the employee of any of the organization, everybody wants to work, everybody wants to contribute more and significantly. So everybody loves action. That is one of the reasons. The second reason is that people are facing health problems, health issues in their workspaces. This has been realized by many other people in the past, and even they have been facing this thing every now and then. That's another thing. And why do we understand that? Because we asked certain questions, we researched about it, and even if you go through certain of the questions which have been written onto the screen, you'll realize that some of the questions are pretty much related to you also. You have seen those kind of problems arising over a period of time. And then we collected all the information, we searched some of the international magazines as well as the information centers. We realized that many of the people, 619 million people, are suffering from lower back pain globally. Just imagine, such a huge number out of the overall population. So that is a big challenge, and we have to address it more and more with the best of the solutions. That was the second reason. Now, this is the biggest reason, and we really don't give a damn to it certain of the times, which is this. We took ages to turn from apes to humans, right? We were not meant to sit for a longer period of time. We were about to work, walk, and sleep. Sitting was not a posture which was actually been given by the God to us, but we have chosen to it, which is actually creating a problem in the longer run. So then comes the question that how we are addressing it. At Wipro Seating Solutions, we got the solution, but how exactly we are approaching towards it, that really matters a lot. We are making the chairs which are really so personal, which gives you the comfort which understands your body, work demands, well-being first, productivity, and happiness. That's what we are creating. We were working from the headrest to the base and casters. So starting from the headrest to the base and casters, we are actually paying attention to everything, whatever we have. How do you do it? That really matters a lot. Every component is BIFMA compliant and tested as per the standards, which are really important. We are being certified by the best. We are a member of IGBC. We've got BIFMA certifications. We've got ergonomic certification for most of our products. So that is why I'm saying we are pretty much committed to what we have been talking about. And it's not only limited to the office chairs only, but yes, we do have certain, it is applicable to the auditorium chairs, the solutions that we have, that we give to the corporates, as well as the educational institutions too. The same thing applies to our public seating solutions, which are being used in the healthcare airports as well as the stadiums. We also offer exquisite chair. This is really very important when it comes to the usability, because most of the people are looking for it. And we are actually contributing towards empowering India Rise, which is another significant matter. We have included diversity and inclusion as a part of our global mandate, and we've been continuously working towards it with a range which has been manufactured in India and which matches the global standards. The range that gives you the comfort as well as the pleasure that you are seeking for. With all these things, we also forayed into this cafeteria seating, because cafeterias are the places where people are having most of the discussion. They're understanding the overall subject matter better. With the co-working spaces, Sanjay sir has spoken about how the new office spaces are turning into what is the major thing which has been a part of it. And yes, we are giving a contribution towards it, cafeteria seating, as well as stadium seating range, where emotions find home. What they're saying, another challenge, I believe that most of the architects who are sitting here, they would be understanding. With open office space, we've got another challenge in our life, that is acoustic. So we came up with a product named Flippo, which can be flipped from one side to another side, can be worked as per the different kind of requirements, and can actually give you the comfort that you're looking for to create your own private space. Because the privacy, they're coming in different colors, and then we've got another product which goes privy, which gives you the kind of a liberty to create the dividers, acoustic screen dividers. Then you want to create a space which is dedicated to you. So there's a kind of a product line that we have got, and yes, you can maneuver it. We give products which is actually serving the purpose, and we have a complete range which works for the ranges that I've spoken about. And we also contribute towards overall knowledge partners. We conduct a session named Let's Pause, which actually contributes towards overall understanding of the chair, how exactly it works for the architects. We are being your companion with an AMC program, where we actually replace the components which are required for most of the people. And that is how we summarize ourselves, a company which is continuously growing from last 20 years, right? And being rechristed as well as worked in such a way that from the last 3 years, we're contributing in the seating space. We've been quality and reliability as the major things that we have been contributing upon, and the set of the customers that we have ever served. That is really important for us. Thank you. And we are really asking all of the people the same questions. Are we ready for a healthy and confident tomorrow? If we are ready, let's contribute, let's move towards. Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Subodh, for that beautiful presentation. And while Subodh from Wipro Seating Solutions gave us an theoretical overview about the company's portfolio and the products, we have here with us the live demo of their products, especially for our speakers as we set up the chairs. The chairs that are going to come up on stage is the Wipro It's Me chair, where a sleek design meets exceptional comfort, especially due to its elegant design, its ultra-wide headrest and 4D armrest. Chair delivers personalized support and style, teamed with the wide backrest ensures a perfect fit for any users, combining spaciousness within streamlined look for ultimate comfort. And we have them set up here especially for our panel of speakers, which we are coming to in our next session, with the first panel discussion of the evening, which is conceptualized on addressing the need and the dynamics of creating next-gen workspaces. We had architect Sanjay, who had taken us through what the evolving workspaces are like, and we have right now with us some leading experts in the industry to share their knowledge about how they are going about it. And to moderate this panel, we have architect Vistas Bhagwagar, who is the principal architect at AVA, and joining him are speakers Anil Thalani, who is the vice president for transaction and client servicing at QDesk. Along with him is Gaurav Singh, who is the president at Table Space. Joining them is Harshada Pimplekhare, who is the senior director at Colliers. Along with them, we have Prashish Vasudeva, who is the managing director at Alvarez and Marcel. And finally joining them are two other speakers who are Kshitij Soin, who is the AVP for Operations India at Genpact, and Mr. Vidya Shankar Krishna, who is the Vice President for Marketing at Havells Professional Lighting. With this, I would love to invite all of my panel speakers and the moderator to please come on stage and take the dais and take this evening forward. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They are here spending their time sharing their knowledge with us, and it means a lot to us. Speakers, I'm going to give this over to you. Vista?
Why you've got the short hair? You've been cut short. I think the time's been cut short. Great, thank you very much. When they first invited me to be a moderator, I said, oh no, I'm going to be standing for 50 minutes. They then cut it down to 40 minutes. That's the timeline we have for today. But I've grabbed the chair. I think Wipro's convinced me on the benefits of this chair. So wonderful to have everyone here. A lot of gentlemen out here I've worked for or I'm working with, indirectly or directly. We shall reveal the secrets of stage. It's a pleasure to speak on a subject that's so very relevant. I think for the past 5 years, we were sick of talking about COVID. And I think it's very nice to speak about a subject that's very relevant, that's addressing the needs and dynamics of creating a new gen workplace. Now, first of all, I'd say, COVID was not a bad virus. Actually, COVID allowed a lot of things to happen. One, I wrote a book on positivity at the workplace, which really, culminated a lot of years of learning and putting it all together, and is still a very relevant text. And secondly, I think it buried forever this big debate that we used to have, work-life balance. Nobody talks about work-life balance after COVID. Have you realized that? Everyone's found their niche. Everyone's demanded working from home, working from office, remote working, hybrid working. Everyone's got the kind of comfort that they want to have in their workplace post-COVID. So this big phrase, work-life balance, has disappeared. I think, it's one of the fantastic things of COVID, that really happened. To start off, I think we, should maybe have a quick line of introduction of everybody, but just a quick line. I think, we could start with the lady next to me, Harshita. I'd just like to sort of ask each of you to, introduce yourself briefly and just say, what is it that you want from your workplace? What is the next gen workplace according to you? A quick line.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. My name is Harshada Pimparkhare. I represent a company called Colliers. I am from the corporate fit-out division of Colliers in the capacity of senior director. I think that much of introduction is enough.
Yeah, that's good.
What we expect from workplace is basically a blend of comfort with technology-driven, comforting and inspiring workspace. And I think that is what the next generation also would want, a blend of all the things that makes it better for them to come to office every day, right, and be in the workspace for longer time and not get frustrated with the 9-to-5 sort of a routine.
Right. Next, Anil, what would you really define our next gen workspace as?
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Anil Talani. For bread and butter, I'm the part of QDisc, which is a national aggregation platform for co-working and flexible office industry. Apart from that, on a passion side, I'm part of Global Association for Corporate Services, which is a fraternity of admin and facility people. There are many from my fraternity are sitting here, so I'm thankful that they are here. Coming to the expectation from my side to the workplaces is that I need the workplace should be easy, comfortable, and flexible. That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Kshitij Soin, currently working for Genpact. Approximately 27 years of experience working in IT, ITES. I have been part of FM fraternity. I was part of admin and facility team, and from last 15 years, I have moved to the business side in IT, ITES. So I'm running business operations for Genpact right now, and prior to that, I was working for Infosys. So that's a brief about myself, my professional journey. So workplace, for me, workplace is not just the workstation and the office. Workplace where our employees work. And post-COVID, they generally work in offices. They also work in home. They travel abroad. They spend time in cafeterias. They spend time inside and outside offices. So that is the workspace for me, for my offices and my workforce.
Lovely. Please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Vidya Shankar. I work as Vice President Marketing at Havells Lighting. My expectation of workspace, well, this question is more like, what do you want in a car, right? I think each one of us will have different requirements. So what I really look forward to is something where, it's a space where it should be very comfortable to work with, something that's inspiring, and also something that's safe for me to work, while at the same time being flexible.
I think safety is a very big word nowadays. Gaurav, what about you?
I'm probably the odd one out here. I'm the newest to this part of the world. I've spent about 30 years in hotels and moved across to real estate. Currently head a company called Table Space as president. I came in here to bring in a new sort of, let's say, structure and design towards an organization which is pretty much hardcore in brick and mortar. So from that perspective, I think to the question that you have, what do I see office spaces in the next gen, or how do I see them evolve, is that to bring in the element of services, bring in the element of hospitality, bring in the elements of human touch, which is becoming more and more taken over by AI and technology and safety, from everything that almost all presenters spoke of earlier, which kind of moved towards sustainability, well-being, and all of that. I think if I was to just put it in one word, I would call it hospitality as a service.
Sure. Prachish.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Prachish Vasudev. I'm the sector lead for real estate for my company, Alvarez & Marsal. For me, office really, post-COVID, everybody can work from anywhere, so remote working, hybrid working is all in. But for me, office is really about connections and collaboration.
Right. Okay, perfect. So, I was looking up this phrase, next gen, and the Cambridge dictionary said, next gen is, something to describe a product that has been developed using latest technology and will probably replace an existing product. So we normally use next gen for, as an adjective, normally describing a lot of products. But what about the next gen user? How about talking about the human aspect of offices? I think that's very much, that's really so important. So what is it that, who is this next gen end user? I think, statistics will show you 75% of the people in offices are now millennials. They're people, not my age group, but the next generation, maybe more Harshda's age group. They are people who are, wired differently. I mean, just to set context, they're more open-minded, more supportive of equal rights, more confident, expressive, liberal in thought, receptive to ideas, impatient. We have so many of them in our office, don't we? Full of creative ideas, diverse, etc. So there's this entire quantum change of the end user, who's, using this place. So in that context, would anyone want to, just speak on, what is it, how do we address this new user in this new office? And I'd like to direct the question to Prachish, because Prachish, what you have just got is a new age office, you'd like to talk a little about it.
I'll be brief. I know you've all been out there for a long, long time and some very interesting presentations, Sanjay. That was really fantastic. So I think that's $1 million question as to figuring out who's the millennial and what do they want. Businesses across the world are spending billions of dollars of research trying to figure it out. The little that we do know, and we have some very bright young people, working with us. The little that we know is that A, they know their mind, so they're very sure about what they want. And B, they have this concept of YOLO, you only live once. So, they want to do everything today and now, and they want everything the way they want it. Having said that, I think for them, Office is more about collaboration because they're also used to working on their devices and, their handhelds and everything. So for them, it's more about being able to establish the human touch. Sanjay, were talking about that, the connections. And for them, it's really a place to socialize and build those connects. So for them, that's the pull factor. The office needs to be something where they can make those real and human connections. And that's what,
so
for me, that's what.
I do recall when we were discussing this project, we did talk about the worry of how do you bring people back to office. I think that was your central key worry. And I think in many ways that got addressed by creating a club office or a work cafe, things that were talked about by Sanjay in his last presentation. And I think that's a demonstration of that, isn't it? So I'll sort of move on to a question to you, Gaurav, since you are the most educated amongst us, in terms of the real estate, background. Given that there are many models of, a post-COVID world where we're talking about remote working, or we're talking about agile working, activity-based working, or we're talking about the millennial workspace, have there been changes in the way we look at corporate real estate in terms of how much is appropriate, to meet a certain requirement? Let's say if you are looking for an office of 200 people, do you really need to seat 200 people now in this new way of working where people are partly coming in, coming out? So what are the dynamics there? And anybody else who also wants to jump into this could add on. Let's make this free-flowing.
Sure, it's very interesting. I think, as you look at spaces today in the office segment in particular, to have people come into work is not just about coming to work. And I think Sanjay elaborated that quite extensively in his presentation to say that you need to sort of amenitize the entire workspace to be able to keep them from when they use the toothbrush in the morning to when they go back to the toothbrush in the evening again. You want to keep them from the T to T in that sense. And for that to happen, all that happens in the ecosystem of an office becomes that much more engaging, right from the communities that you create or the social networking that you do. But I think one of the things that's becoming more and more predominant, particularly towards the millennials and the younger generation even after that, is that they're all looking out for a very clear experience in the office as well. It just cannot be about going to work and coming back. So they need to be able to have experiences, be able to have solutions to all that they need, whether they need their groceries done from home to go back home, whether they need to hit the gym for half an hour or go into a pool if that's possible in a workspace, and all of that, and then include that towards a social evening, probably at a bar, maybe in a restaurant, maybe at a cafe. But if that ecosystem can be at the workspace itself, it generates a huge amount of interest for the person to actually come to work and not remain in that hybrid or work from home solution.
Kshitij, I'd sort of pass this question to you as well. You know, how do you work out that equation or the quantum of workspace for the new age office, which may not be used fully? I mean, how do you avoid the problem of taking too much and not being able to use it? So how do you factor that equation?
See, it is all within the business needs, and more so it is also client driven. But generally, we have given internal targets to our service delivery managers to have optimum seat utilization, and we give them whatever their workforce is, minimum 20% less workstations, and we ask them to have better rostering and ensure the policies of the office is still adhered of 3-day working, 2-day working, 4-day working, and if at all they need 5-day workings also, it is across the shift. How do they do double bunking? How do they use, our hoteling seats concept has come up. Like if the employees are individual contributors and they are not always in office, so they do get a hoteling sort of a seat where on a app they can book a seat and they get a dedicated seat close to their major teams which they are working with. So this is how we arrange the optimum utilization of workplaces.
I was once talking to a client and he said the problem is people are coming in too late. So I suggested to him that why don't you have a first come first serve approach, so people will start coming in a flexi seating environment and take the better seats near the windows or near more interesting areas. Just a off note on what you were talking about. Well, I'd like to really ask that, typically how inclusive is the process of making an office? I'd like to ask the designer on my left side, the architect on my left side, do we really, take stakeholders and do we really take the architects into the equation for making a program for, a future, a next-gen office?
So there are 3-4 set of clients that we have experienced. The first set of clients is generally the people who are inclusive and want to take the feedback or inputs from the end users, and they gamify the overall process. They will gamify it to say that what is your wish list for your new office, and every employee has a right to sort of give their wish list. They consolidate it, deliberate it, and then formulate a brief around what is the basic requirement plus what is the wish list. That's one way of democratizing it as a whole. The other clients are a little more evolved, where they have a proper workplace study done. They have the right people to ask the right questions, and they derive the brief out of that entire process. And less clients, but they exist. And I feel that architects are extremely important to be a part of this brief, but unfortunately, that's not the case everywhere.
Can you make a promise on this August stage and say that architects will become part of, developing RFPs in the future?
No.
You do a great service to the industry.
Yeah, I'll really tell you that if it is possible, we want that to happen. Most of the times, the clients are giving the brief to the architects, and that brief is either based on the allocation of the seats or the department allocations, or their guesstimate or estimate of what is required in the office, which is generally, if the architect challenges that, they probably may or may not like it. So sometimes, most of the times, that's what is the scenario. But there are all kinds of clients. Some are getting there, some are yet not there, some feel that they know it all. So we have all kinds of people.
So, I have a counter question on this for architects. We have at least two architects I know sitting here.
You have a third one.
We have three architects.
Yeah.
So business need is defined by the clients or the corporates. Does architects have time to understand business needs in detail and have lengths and lengths of sessions and discussions? Because then, or if they don't, then organizations will appoint a PMO who will do the requirement gathering internally, who does not know the architecture at all or designing at all, and then he will just give a laundry list. So does architects have time spending with the corporations, getting the business needs?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I'd say that. Pay them well, they'll do everything for you.
So it all comes to the finances, huh?
I think if I may just add to what Kshitij was saying, I think the good architects too, they go beyond just the quantitative brief, which is so many workstations, so many cabins, and which is unfortunately, like Harshada was saying, that's the majority of the clients you'll find like that. But some do go beyond the quantitative and get into the qualitative nature of spaces, what kind of spaces. And I think I remember when you were helping, design our space, you actually had a session with majority of our users, stakeholders, and they came up with some pretty good ideas in terms of nature of spaces, the quality of spaces. And I think those kind of qualitative inputs do improve the design that you have, both in terms of the quality of the design and the longevity, because it stays relevant for a longer time. So yeah, I think.
Anil, I'd like to just, ask you this question that in your business circles, how does the ideal office space program get generated, when you're making a new space? Because, the seed of thought, as we're talking about, is so important.
So, see, there is no one-way rule. Every organization has their own temperaments, their own nature of work. So, when we are talking about the office, how the office has to be designed, you can't expect railways to be adopted for the hybrid or other type of work cultures in their office. Similarly, there are other people, those are only, like I name a few, like for Fair Portal, they are still running on the work from home office cultures. So they have their own strategies and everything. But yes, if you have to design a workplace, you have to inclusively engage every stakeholders in a design processes, implementation processes, operational challenges, and the finances, of course. So once you have all the parameters and the inputs from the different stakeholders of the organization, you will deliver what exactly you have to be delivered and what exactly the people of the organization is expecting from you. This is how it is.
Sure, I take that. And, I'd like to add a new definition of inclusivity. We talk about this wonderful word called inclusive, and we normally restrict it to sanitation requirements or to, certain other more basic needs. But I think true inclusivity could be when you actually involve the end users as stakeholders through variety of ways, as Harshada was saying, and if you were to actually use them in generating a program so that when they get to see the new office, they're able to see what's in it for me. I think the biggest question for today's millennial is what's in it for me. I think everyone would agree. So would you like to, Kshitij, sort of talk about that?
So next gen office, millennials, we are talking about it, but business has to understand, you mentioned rightly 75% could be millennials, but in our society we have 5 generations, and if not all 5, 4 are definitely working in one office, and percentage may differ. It could be 70% Gen X also, millennials also, and vice versa. So organization and business has to define understands they are working, their
So
workforce.
you're basically saying the end user is not involved in it?
End users are involved or their department heads are involved, but the business knows that what kind of a...
What's good for them.
What's good for them.
It's like parents knowing what's good for their children and children disagreeing with parents, isn't that? It's a little bit of a controversial.
Yes. So in an organization where in one business center, if 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 workforce is working, it would become a chaos if we get voice of everyone. So we have to narrow down the voices also. It cannot happen that we can have a vote of 4,000 people, what are you looking in your next office? And 4 generations are definitely working in one office, and it will keep on working in rotations also.
Okay, Vidya, what's your take on this? The end user, the end person, knowing what's in it for him, how do you go about that in your business?
I think that's a very important aspect. At the end of the day, the Gen Z that we talked about, they simply believe in what they see, right? So seeing is believing. Now, if I have an office with a very good air quality, I would love to see what is that air quality index within my office, right? I mean, one is something to talk about, the other one is to actually demonstrate it. Similarly, when it comes to lighting, there is so much of talk, there's so much of discourse, but is there something called as a light quality index, right? Am I working in an office which is, safe for me? Is it something which is not affecting my body metabolism as such? Can I give them that kind of an index? Today, the answer is yes, we can do that. So the way you can see, what is the quality of air, you can also measure the quality of light. So people will know that they are coming into an office which is not going to create stress in them, right? And something that is going to help them improve their productivity. And when they leave office, they are probably, much better energized as compared to, an office where the quality of lighting is not appropriate. Right? Today, these millennials are aware. I'll just throw one example. Most modern offices, while I really appreciate the kind of designs that have come in, we have started adopting the cafeteria kind of lighting in offices. And these are the workspaces. Basically, it means my ceiling is dark. I can see all the facilities running on my ceiling. And just because I don't want to expose them, I keep my ceiling dark. And that is actually not a good practice for somebody who is working under that environment. Because we always talk about something called as volumetric lighting, right, where your entire surrounding is lit up. And that not only helps my productivity, but also that contributes to my better health. So we call this as a concept of, equivalent melanopic lux. So if I am able to demonstrate that to the employees who are working in that workstation, I think, they will really believe that, yes, this is a safe and a healthy environment to work in.
Lovely. I think it's always nice to bring in the lighting aspect, given that you are one of the major sponsors of the event, and we'll grant that.
And when somebody asked me to throw light, I said, sorry, I will throw lighting at it.
Sure. I want to touch on the subject of materiality, and I'm going to turn a little now to the right and address both of you out here. Imagine there are materials that go into an office, which, may not just be limited to floors, walls, ceilings, but also movable items. What prioritization is given to these concepts, that I'm going to be reading out? There are 3, concepts going around today about materials. One is the circular economy of materials. Like they're not on a linear economy path, they're able to be recycled, reused, reincarnated, reinvented, rather than getting into a dumping site. So circular materiality. The second would be sustainability, the very question of, the materials being sustainable, being well rated, being good for the environment, being IGBC, certified, etc. And the third is durability, durability of those materials over a period of time. My simple question is, which would you accord the highest priority to in terms of what's really relevant and important in the next gen workspace?
I can go first. At Table Space, where I come from, one of the things we do is we provide, enterprise solutions for large clients, such as Fortune 500 companies, and they have their own thought about how an office should be. Yeah, so it's to the architect's question. I would kind of go back and say, listen, and someone said it already, saying we don't want too much feedback. There is a culture of the organization, and the culture of the organization needs to kind of be shown in the office space that you're going to. And that comes to the question that you asked, that I think each organization today is working towards well-being, sustainability, and it's not just a theme, it's now become a part of life. And it is already existing. But what's important is to be able to say that each organization today has different priorities. I can give you an example. A particular organization may believe that even an 8 mm ramp needs to have a railing next to it, yeah, because someone could slip and hurt themselves. So everyone looks at simple design in a very different way. What is important is that if I was to just take your question of the 3 points, I would, in my personal view, look at sustainability as being first, the circular, or being able to reuse items, as you called it, circular. I think that's as important, if not second. I would probably put it as important.
Right.
And I think the third for me is probably the last of what you had read out.
Which is durability.
Which is durability, because today I think durability is a nature of what you want out of the product. Most items or commodities are having shorter spans of life, and that's okay. If you can recycle it in one form or the other, and we go back to that, then durability doesn't matter.
Right. Prachish?
I would agree with the order that Gaurav placed it. I think durability is today not such an important aspect because, people want to change their, at least the interior fit outs. But I do think that all three are important because today sustainability is not only a good to have, it's a must have. Many of the major corporates would demand it and require it. It's in their mandates today, and it's only going to become stronger and stronger. So, but I would agree with the order that he said in terms of.
Okay, so my quick take on this, since I deal with a lot of clients, when we talk about circular economy, nobody's really bothered about it. It comes very low. These sort of things get talked about on the dioceses and in occasions like this, but the reality is nobody really looks at it. When it comes to durability, yes, people are very, very concerned, on durability, about, things lasting at least the cycle of, the space that was rented, 5 years, 9 years, whatever. So people are very concerned about it. When it comes to sustainability, yeah, take care of it. Okay, don't tell us about it. Okay, whatever you want. Mostly it's like that. Maybe it's time for us, as a fraternity to start educating people on these bigger aspects of materiality, and talk about these things, because somehow it does not come in the conversations that, I've been part of. Would you like to add something on this, Arshita?
Honestly, I have a feeling that, like he said, durability, it's any product today, we are evolved enough to say that any product will last for 5 years. And nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, with their office setup, with the number of people, with a change in the workspace. You really don't have the vision for how long is it going to last. So durability, in my opinion, our products are good enough to survive for that 5 years, and that's it. So the order remains what I agree with both of them.
Yes, so just one point. I have a counter question again to the architects and the designers. You make a plan for the client and you define the priority accordingly. And as you already said that generally clients does not want to talk about much of a sustainability, but how much effort you put across as designers to ensure that client understands sustainability and the circular material also. And durability is their main concern with the versatility of the office as well. So how much time you get successful in convincing the client and how much pressure or effort you have to put as designers?
So Kshitij, at this point of time, my eyes is on the time that's flying out there. We can have this conversation because it's going to be a long one, I assure you. But, you know, to be very honest, we like to educate if we are asked, you know, and that's the single line answer. I'd like to jump on to something else. Can operational challenges be addressed at a design stage? You know, there are operational challenges post handover. Can we, what I typically call design out a problem right from the beginning? Anybody on this? And let's do single 2 or 3 line answers now, please.
100% can be addressed. I think the best answer to it is to have the operations teams actually buddy up with the designers at the design phase and look at the design and talk about what the process is going to be. If you can't walk the place the way it is meant to be, and you're going to take a tray of coffee to get washed on the other end of the hall, and you're going to drop coffee through the hall on the carpet, it's not going to make sense, right? So I think it's as simple as that, but it's as complicated as that as well.
I think very well said.
Yeah, yes, please.
I also have this feeling that a good design is basically keeping in mind the operational challenges. It needs to be designed that way. And it's very important for all the new budding architects, designers, etc., to understand the materials and use the materials at the right place, because that solves a lot of issues. And that's where I think the aesthetics is only a part of a good office. Functionality matters the most. Like a beautiful pen, if it does not write, doesn't make any sense. So, you know, it's as simple as that. You have to balance the functionality with the
Did you want to add something very quickly?
So I will pick 2 points. One is the circular economy. For that, it is a wild thought at this point of time, but I will certainly put this point to the awareness of all the fraternity people. Those are here, and those are outside of the room. That people should think on adopting the hybrid model in the workplace, not only as per the presence of the employee or the physical presence, but adopting their conventional and their flexible or service and managed office, so that the problem for the circular economy, because the people in the other side of the table, those are service and those are running the flexible office, has more pressure to reuse the resources what they had. This is point number 1. And another point was...
so we finished that question.
Yeah,
so we'll jump on, because I do have a very interesting rapid fire question round, which is a surprise to all of you, because I promised you it won't be there, but that's the way I am. I don't reveal all the cards. Okay, so from a future readiness perspective, let's say we're trying to be ready for the future. What's more important? And I'm going to quickly run, I just want one answer from each of you. Strategy or work culture when it comes to design? Let's start. Just one of them.
Yeah, I think strategy is what is going to define what the work culture is going to be, right? So I think that becomes important, and again, bringing lighting into that particular perspective for just a bit, because lighting, if it is smart enough, can...
You're buying me more time. You're going to be buying me more time. Okay.
Yeah, so, all I'm trying to say is in a next-gen kind of an office, where you also wanted flexibility in the previous question that you said, a flexible and a smart lighting can also actually contribute to better utilization of space.
Right.
So work culture will define design and strategy.
Perfect.
Strategy in synchronization with the work culture.
Oh, a little of both. Okay. What about you? Agreed. Anybody?
I'd rather go for work culture, which would probably, to me, culture is the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of creates the strategy.
Absolutely.
So,
and Rajesh?
I have a counter question for you. Do we get a hamper at the end of this rapid fire?
Yes, we got all these water bottles out here. They will all come to you. So Okay, so, a famous man said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Okay. All right, so hybrid working or remote working? And since we don't have too much time, anybody?
Neither.
Hybrid working. Hybrid any day.
Any day. Sorry?
I said neither.
Neither. Okay, then what?
Come to work.
Come
That's
to
the only
work.
way that
Lovely.
we continue to have.
I keep telling people that and I'm not successful. Okay, versatile or programmed workspace?
Versatile.
Versatile.
Unanimous?
Versatile, yeah.
From a lighting perspective?
Has to be versatile.
Okay, all
Prefer
right.
that.
Okay. Last one, managed or customized workspaces?
Customized.
Oh, all right.
That's what we do exactly.
Exactly.
So we customize workspaces that are managed at table space. So you've answered it and you've kind of asked a question that I don't have much.
So I don't want to make Gaurav angry on me. That is why I'm keeping the silent.
Right, okay.
I would say customized workspaces with customized lighting in it.
Okay. All right, so I think we'll shoot by a minute or two more. I'd like to sum up and say that I think, there are few things that are very, very important for, a workspace that is a next-gen workplace and that is, very, very important to address. And this is an extract from my book, but three things that I feel are very relevant. One is understanding the millennial mind, understanding the end user. That's why that's what this topic is all about. Second is, looking at the future office as a work cafe or a work club to the extent that it attracts and becomes a magnet to bring people to work. I think that is a challenge of the future. That is something that we all need to work towards. And thirdly is this great word, work culture. You can build the most fantastic spaces, but if you do not have the appropriate mechanisms to bring the right work culture, you're not going to be able to create the kind of engagement and the kind of productivity that workplaces are made for. So that was my take. Anybody wants to add anything? Time's up.
Yes,
I
so
worked within your time.
This last point, within next 15 years, our offices should be prepared. We are the youngest working population in the country right now. This youngest population will become a mature and much more aged population, and our offices should be ready to address this along with alphas coming in next 3 to 5 years. So this is what our design should be based out of.
We could not handle the millennials and now we're going to wait for the alphas. So on that happy note, let's look forward to the future of workplaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thanks to the audience for being so patient.
Thank you so much, Vistas, and thank you so much to each of my speakers here for that brilliant panel discussion that was. And I could see Mr. Soin putting the architects in and corner time and again, but I think something like that requires that, and I really loved it how each of you all took it up. So I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Somnath Chaudhary, who is the National Key Accounts Manager for South Asia at Dormakaba, and Siddharth Bhandari, who is the Head Sales and Marketing for Wipro Seating Solutions, to quickly come on stage and give a token of appreciation to each of the panel speakers here. And meanwhile, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for each of our speakers for bringing out that brilliant panel discussion. Somnath. Vistas, first to you for moderating this brilliant panel. Thank you so much for the questions. The next one is to Mr. Anil Thalani, who is being very diplomatic, but nonetheless, very nice to have you here, sir. We next have Mr. Gaurav Singh, the president at Table Space, and sector that is coming up, a new age office space in its true sense. Next we have Ms. Harshada from Colliers. Harshada, thank you so much once again. we next have Mr. Prashish Vasudeva. Thank you so much, Prashish. He took real sporty questions from everyone and was really nice. Yes, exactly. You did get your hands up. Next, Mr. Kshitij Soin. From Genpact, thank you so much, Mrs. Kshitij. And finally, Mr. Vidya Shankar from Havells Lighting. He stuck true to his company's motto and presence. Thank you so much. I would love to call each of the speakers and the presenters on just for a quick photo op. And in the meanwhile, going now to the next session of this evening. Thank you so much once again, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Going on to the next segment of this evening, we have an integral part in the fit-outs industry that we would say that we'd love to hear from. It is Ms. Ashima Bhatia, who is the Senior Area Manager for projects at Hafele. And I would love to call her on stage and take us through the company's history and products portfolio as I would like to call on stage, please.
How do we want to live and work in the future? Higher? Bigger? Smaller? More luxurious? Scaled down? Well, maybe not that scaled down. How about more sophisticated? Like our solutions. But what solutions do we need to meet the challenges of a changing urban world? One thing is certain. As space is becoming increasingly scarce, it needs to be reimagined. Because the value of space is not measured by square meters alone. What counts is to make something out of it. This is our goal, achieving the maximum together. For residents, guests, and investors. Optimal solutions for limited space. That's what it's all about for us. Maximizing the value of space together for everyone. Atmospheric, functional, intelligent, and organized. Maximizing the value of space together.
So, all right. Good evening, everyone, and warm regards from Hafele, India. It is a pleasure to be here today addressing a group of esteemed architects and professionals from our industry. In today's fast-evolving market, where trends are ever-changing and demand for sustainability and innovation are higher than ever, Hafele ensures and Hafele offers you a solution that blends cutting-edge technology with timeless designs. Whether you are working on an industrial project, commercial project, residential project, or a government project, we have an extensive range of solutions that brings your ideas to life, no matter how complex they are. So with that, I would just give you a brief about the company's product and services, which you can use in a corporate offices and all. So Hafele started its journey in 1923, so we turned 100 last year. We have 38 foreign subsidiaries, right? We have more than 8,000 employees worldwide, and if you talk about in India, we have more than 1,000 employees here in India. So we have our head office in Mumbai, and we have different regional offices. So if I talk about the North Regional Office, it is here in Delhi, which has our regional office and display center. From there, we don't sell anything. It is purely an experience center for all of you to come and have the look and feel of the product and see the functionality also. So we provide holistic solutions for all your interior spaces, right from your door solutions, sliding solutions, automatic door solutions, furniture fittings, lighting solutions, surfaces, and all. So what all we have in door solutions? So in any project, we have an entrance, right? For entrance, we have different solutions available with us. Your automatic sliding doors, your automatic swing doors. So we all are aware about the automatic sliding doors that, based on your requirement, it can be single, biparting, with a breakout feature, right? Or it can be curved also. So we have different designs available in that. But automatic swing doors, which is there on the right side of the PPT, this product we introduced at the time of COVID, where we all want the touchless operations, right? So in that way, you can make your swing door also automatic. Then we have different types of sliding solutions which are available for your office spaces based on your design and your requirement. Then we are nowadays in corporate offices, style doors are in trend, right? So we have a complete set of door hardware right from your hinges, your door locks, your narrow lever handles, your offset pull handles, your slide arm door closures. So everything you talk about, we have in our range, and all our door hardware are available in different finishes, like you need it in SS matte, you need it in black finish, and they are compatible with all the style door vendors who are operating in India. So now we are even having the Slido wall, which is our acoustic partition. So we have both with glass also, and we have a solid acoustic partitions also, where we can give you a dB level, from 38 to up to 58 dB, and where you can achieve a height of more than 15 meters in a panel. So this is all our mobile wall in glass for your office spaces. Again, we can have even a pass door also in office, in your mobile wall, so that, once it is not required to open, but you can have a to and fro movement from one place to another. So we have complete range of door hardware, even for your flush doors or for your sliding doors. We have different types of designs available with us in terms of lever handles, pull handles, and all. So all these door closures also we have in our range, right? Maybe surface mounted concealed door closure or slide arm door closures or your fire rated door closures, everything we have in our range. We are into the fire door hardware also, with all the necessary certifications and all available with us, with 2 hours fire rating and all. Then we have a furniture solutions available with us, right? We are into many space-saving furniture fittings. Like these are your extendable tabletops, which you can use in your work area. These are your digi-locks for your lockers and all. Then we have recently introduced a dialogue for your wardrobe drawers. So I'm sure most of you here will not be aware about that Hafele is entered into lighting solutions also. So we are into the furniture lights as well as into the architectural lights. So here, these are your strip lights, your downlighters, your architectural lights. And we give 10 years of guarantee on our lighting solution. So now, what all we can offer you for your pantry units? So right from your kitchen drawers, to your waste management system, to your even appliances and sinks also. So we even have a sinks and faucets of the same color and design to enhance the aesthetic of your workplace. So we are into appliances, full-fledged appliances, right from your dishwashers, your coffee machines, your even small appliances also, which you can use in your corporate pantries, like your microwaves, your ovens and all, everything is available with us. These are the dishwashers, your small appliances, your kettles, your coffee machines. Restroom solutions, we are into tabletops, sinks, and faucets again. Then we are into surfaces also, both for your flooring as well as for your tabletops and for your wall cladding purpose also. So we are having rods in our range. So Hafele recently introduces Terra as a brand, which is Hafele owns brand. These are few of the images. So these are few of the brands with which Hafele has worked with. So, we understand that every project is unique, right? That's why Hafele stands out, offering you our tailored solutions with comprehensive support. So we have our, estimated team, design team, who is, who ensures that every detail is, perfect, every design is seamless, and every project is a success. So we always, help you right from the designing stage till implementation of the project. So this is all about Hafele India. Thank you for patiently listening to me, and thank you for your trust in Hafele India. And we believe that you continue this with our brand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashima, for running us through those fittings that are literally glove in hand for the furnitures that we see in our offices. And we next have the final industry presentation for this evening, which is from MRF Vapocure Paints for the walls and surfaces of our office. And to deliver this presentation, I would love to call on stage Mr. Saurabh Puri, who is the ASC for Delhi at MRF Vapocure Paints. With this, I would love to call on stage Saurabh. And until then, it would be great if we could have a quick company AV.
We know that good-looking spaces can be soothing on the mind and on the soul. And that is the beginning of the good life. It is here that we begin our journey in bringing this thought alive with our customers. From walls to furniture to metal surfaces, we will paint their world brighter. We will fill their life with color. We will paint every nook and corner with joy and laughter. We will paint that good life for them. MRF Paints. Paint that good life.
So good evening, everyone. It is an honor to speak in front of so much experienced person. My name is Saurabh Puri, and I am 10 years experience hold in paint industry. So I am representing my company MRF Paints today. So we have just got our slogan few days back, that is Paint That Good Life, MRF Paints. About our company, so we have various divisions, starting from MRF Tires, MRF Paints, and Fun School. So when we talk about MRF Tires, so everybody knows about MRF Tires. I wanted to tell you about something about MRF Paints. So MRF Paints, MRF Paints is through 1989. And since 1989, firstly, we are in industrial business. Now we are into decorative business as well. Then we have Fun School. Fun School is basically kids sports. MRF is a fully owned subsidiary of MRF Limited. We are in the business of aesthetics and harmony to homes for over 3 decades now. ISO 9001:2005 certified company. And we are having pan-India distribution network. So when we talk about MRF paints, we are having wall finishes, wood finishes, metal finishes, and other miscellaneous products. First, we will start from wall finishes. Starting from Ryuka. Ryuka is having performance warranty of 10 years now. Antibacterial emulsion paint. Next is, we are having Aquafresh. This is PU dispersion system, having 7 years of performance warranty. Aquafresh interior. It is also having 7 years of performance warranty, and it's a PU dispersion system. Altura Shine and Altura. So this is 2-in-1 interior and exterior emulsion product, acrylic emulsion. Visa Shine, Visa, Campus Shine, and Campus. So this is a low budget, economical emulsion product. Aquafresh Dam Card, it is having 8 years of performance warranty. As slogan says, no more seepage. We have 3 primers as well, Aquafresh Wall Primer. This is basically for Aquafresh interior and exterior emulsion range. Then we have Altura 2-in-1 acrylic wall primer. This is for Altura, shine and white. And then we have 2-in-1 acrylic wall primer. This is cello primer, basically for economy emulsions. So now we'll come to Aqua Coat PU. This is 1K PU, single pack PU, basically for interior woods. Secondly, we have Aqua Coat 2K PU, that is double pack system for exteriors. Italia, as line says, fast drying and easy sanding. So this is, we have launched this product. This is Italian based product. This is for woods. Then we have Easy Wood in interior as well as in exterior. This is a 1K PU. We have clears, exterior and interiors both. Then we have other economy wood finishes products also, fresh wood, treat wood and melamine. In metal finishes, we have premium pack finish, that is metal coat. This is basically for woods, metal and plastic both. This is for interior as well as exteriors. Durothin, this is a low economy based product, PU for interiors as well as exteriors. It can be applied on woods, metal and plastic. We have some other finishes products also, starting from acrylic superfine, Specta PU enamel, and Epidec. Epidec is epoxy basically. Then we have some performance products, starting from Altura Metallics. So we have, in Altura we have bright golds and bright silver. Aquafresh Cool, it reduces surface temperature till 12 temperature. Zameen, we have 2K PU floor paint, that is for concrete floors, pivot tiles and concrete. Then we have Glass Coat. Glass Coat is a PU for glass. So these are recent iconic projects we have done. Amma Memorial, Marina Beach, Chennai. Markaz Knowledge City at Calicut. Suspension Bridge in Kerala. Pramukh Swami Maharaj, leader of Swami Narayan sector at Ahmedabad. And how we can support you? Through BD team, that is business development team, free product sampling, project print preview, 4 RDCs, 40 sales depots, strong channel network, technical guidance, site supervision, customized shades for high volume. So this is something for today, and thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saurabh. Now, for the final session of the day, which is conceptualized as the Upcycling of spaces, tackling a building's midlife crisis. Now, when I spoke to a lot of industry peers, they mentioned that upgrading and upcycling an existing workspace becomes much more difficult than even building a new one. So with this, we are calling on stage some of the industry leaders who have tackled this particular issue and are going to give us an insight into what the process and the journey they have taken about for this particular process. Before that, I would love to play the Bunidam AV.
Bienvenue. Bienvenido. Welcome. Welcome to the first moment you enter. The first steps. Taking you into a new experience. A journey which begins with us. With us, you're in safe hands, inside and out. And inside, your day starts. Your work, a protected space, or just a moment with your friends. Come in, because doors and avenues will open for you. Ours, and our security solutions. And our security solutions ensure that what lies on the other side is safe. We may be just a small part of a large building, but we create a grand first impression. Together, we welcome you into the world's most inspirational buildings, from the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. And for the design, we craft a contemporary masterpiece, expertly produced to all that a building deserves, holding service in our hearts and dedication to our people. We go beyond what is expected. That is our passion. For more than 140 years, we've ensured people feel welcome and secure. We are Boon Edam, your entry experts.
Thank you for that. And like I said, now introducing the the panel members for the second panel discussion of the evening. We have with us to moderate this particular session, Nabina Joy, who was with JLL as the Director for Administration. We also have joining them Captain Alroy Kolako, who is an industry expert in facility management. We also have with them Mr. Amit Vashne, who is the Executive Director at Cushman & Wakefield. Joining them is Arun Khanna, who is the Vice President and Lead for International Enterprises Real Estate Services at UHG, which is United Health Group. Joining them on this panel is Mr. Chandresh Natu, who is the AVP for Procurement at Cognizant. And joining them is architect Ritika Basan, who is a senior designer at Space Matrix. And finally, joining them is Sanjeev Bhandari, who is the founder and CEO for Airbrick Infra. With this, I would love to call on stage each of my panel speakers and the moderator to come on stage and take in the session. Please do come. Nabina? Yes. Oh, okay, please. You want to take the... I want to use a... Sure. Not a problem.
Hi, very good evening to everyone. It's such a pleasure to be around with such knowledgeable people from the industry, real estate, facility management, and of course the architects and designers who are all here. So I would like to call one by one our panelists on the stage. Sure. So first of all, I'd like to call Arun Khanna. He's the Director for International Real Estate in UHG. He's worked with HSBC, CBRE, and all other big corporates a very humble man, and good to have you on the panel. Welcome, Arun. Amit Vashne, who's the executive director with Cushman and Wakefield, and he's got around into real estate for a very long time, and he's into the corporates like, he was into corporates like DLF, IRIO, and now it's in Cushman and Wakefield. So welcome, Amit. Then Captain Alroy. He's a veteran, as we all know him, with about 35 years of experience in facility, admin, procurement, real estate, and hospitality business. And he's worked with Hero, GMR, Aircel, Avanta, Fiki, to name few, and currently with Capsi, and with a FM company, he's a consultant. So next one is Ritika Bhasi. Ritika is a senior designer with Space Metrics with 10 years of experience, and his background is from hospitality also, that's also good, and workplace design, he's mainly into that. Welcome, Ritika. Next one is Sanjeev Bhandari, an IIM graduate and have worked for almost 14 years with various corporates, Varun Beverages, Live Space, to name few. And now he's into Airbit. He's started his own venture. He's CEO with Airbit, which is an AI and tech-driven entity, solving the challenges of commercial real estate design and build a new India. Next one, thanks. Next one is Chandresh Natu. He's with procurement and he leads the procurement for Cognizant with 26 years of experience with CRE, project management, process improvement. He's civil engineer and by the background, and worked with Tata Teleservices, Magnum, Nortel, Hewitt, to name some. So we have our panelists, all panelists here. Welcome to be here, and it's a pleasure to have you all here. And it's a very dynamic panel we have here, panelists we have here, and who are going to give us some insights on the upcycling topic, what we have chosen. Like our dear lady has mentioned that the topic for this particular session is upcycling, how to upcycle the buildings who are getting old, who's like, it's like tackling the building challenges, midlife crisis. So when we talk about midlife crisis, it is more of like, typically it's the period when it starts to get wear and tear, and it's functionally obsolete. We don't see it very happily. It's not looking very great, and its occupants' needs are not met. So the developer or the owner of the building starts thinking of upcycling it, how to attract the real estate occupants, how will they come there, what are the technological changes he can bring on board, what is the culture changes which are happening, what is the market demand. Depending upon all those aspects, the changes are required, the upcycling of the product is required, which is the building. So instead of demolishing the building, what happens is we recommend the upcycling, so which offers a creative and sustainable way of providing alternatives, so how to manage that particular aspect. In other words, it involves the revitalizing the aging structure, which is not very great, and the functional span is over for that particular structure, and adapting the contemporary needs of that particular thing. So we have the distinguished guests here who will elaborate more on the benefits and challenges what we face or upcycling. So what is the logistical possibilities or impossibilities or challenges, and most important, the cost aspect, what cost implications we have, what environmental benefits or disadvantages we may get out of those upcycling or retrofitting the particular buildings. And it will also include the strategizing how to actually adapt to the change, to reuse it as per the modern functionalities. So I'll not take much of time on introduction. I'll just move on to my questions, which are like, which I'll put to the panelists over here. And the first one I would like to just read through. what are the required interventions to reposition aging buildings to compete with new towers? So we have new infrastructure coming in the market. So how to compete with that new infrastructure vis-a-vis the old structures we have? So I'll put my question to Amit. Amit, if you may please take the mic and answer.
Yeah, is it audible?
No, it is not. Is it on?
Yeah, this is better. Yeah, thanks a lot. This topic is absolutely opposite to what we were discussing in the last panel, the millennials and the new gens and the alphas. Now we are discussing aging buildings. Pretty interesting. People who are from north, they pretty much know the developers here. You ask this question to a developer that the building is aging, they will never agree. Their buildings are timeless. But then there are market compulsions, there are new technologies which are coming in, and then people have to really invest back and make the buildings a new age kind of a scenario. Talking about interventions very quickly and briefly, the most visible of them are changing the lifts, changing the facade glasses for better U values and R values so that the heat losses are reduced and you get better efficiency in terms of your air conditioning and cam charges definitely. Then there are a lot of noise after COVID, especially on improving the filters of the air handling units so that people get much cleaner air. One is cleaner air and out of better filters which are today being used in hospitals. They are required so that people get air which is bacteria free. So a lot of expectations from the employees which are visible and close to employees. With these changes, these interventions are largely doable. There are capex implications, there are operational challenges, but still there are examples, there are precedences now in Gurgaon itself wherein developers have been able to change all this. They've changed the HUs, they've changed the lifts, they've changed the facade glasses. A lot of work has been done on upgrading the receptions also. But then there are difficult things which are beyond capex and which are beyond the promoter decisions, especially making the building more inclusive, especially talking about for people with disability. You need to introduce tactile flooring, you need to introduce lifts with braille, you need to make washrooms which are much more inclusive. So those are difficult to do while you're trying to upgrade the buildings, especially after that energy efficiency thing. A major thing which has happened is use of electric vehicles. Now there is a lot of talk about introducing electric chargers in the basement parkings. Now it is easy to ask for an electric charger, but the electric chargers which are actually practical and can charge the cars in 2 to 3 hours, they're pretty difficult to put up in every parking. So there's a lot of difficulty in those interventions. That's all.
That's a very valid point you put across, the infrastructural challenges which we face when we look at the aspect of actually revamping the particular building. So 2-3 points, yeah, that's very valid point. People with specially able, we have few new norms which have come, building norms which has come, so how to introduce those, how to be compliant with that. So that's really very great insight you have given. I'll move on to the design aspect a little bit for this, and I'll ask Ritika for that. So how can scalability and adaptability be addressed in the new upcycled place?
Hi everyone. So scalability and adaptability for buildings which are suffering from midlife crisis, especially for them, we have to diagnose it in a manner that, we prescribe certain remedies to it, which are taken up keeping flexibility and sustainability in mind. Also, it has to be user-centric. So how we as designers tackle this point is what we ask our clients is, what would they want to see in their space to be? Keeping it very user-centric, would there be, now that we have come out of COVID scenarios, people are very used to the well-being systems, are ergonomics of workings have changed, wherein at home you would take up a call maybe from your desk in the morning, maybe during the lunchtime, you're at the dining table, then in the evening you're at somewhere in the balcony spaces. So all throughout the day, we have, our forms and adaptability has changed so much that we are expecting those changes in our workspaces also, to which, to the ever-changing workplace trends, we have to adopt to the norms and keep on, suggesting forms in a manner that we are ergonomically designed for spaces like which are collaborative, where we're giving various types of furniture aspects, even sustainable aspects in terms like, materiality-wise, if we have to adapt and reuse this with the demolishing of the buildings that we're doing, what can we take back and what can we reuse? So, for example, let's say, if you demolish something up, the debris of that can be reused in a manner to make clays, tiles, and the paint buckets of Asian paint, so that matter can be reused, sent back. Keeping sustainability also in a matter of fact that we are progressing towards adapting a sustainable lifestyle is the practice that we've been adopting. A couple of slides that I have put together that is from a previous project of mine, wherein we catered to the building. A project that I had put it up, 2 years back. If somebody could put that up, please.
You want a slide to be put up?
Yeah, I just wanted to take through the.
It's here.
So this is the Nestle building at Gurgaon. The core part of it was that the building is 24 years old, but demographically it suits very well in the current scenario. The location, the aspect in terms of adaptability was very apt. Here you see a three-way floor, which is a business garden for them, and how we have readapted it in a manner that we've given different sorts of seating arrangements, and there's this connecting stairway which we have tried to retain it. So how the new and the old can merge into this is a matter of fact that we would like to bring in, if we could go further in. Then how we're re-emphasizing that a space which has to be viewed from, it has cascading floors above it. So from all the first ground and third floor up till, you see this machan space that we have created it out. That's something that, structural changes that we made to the space, saying that let's bringing a new fashion and a norm to it that people can, take it up as a viewing gallery, yeah. Wherein right across was a big media screen. People can, come and collaborate in the evening. So these are kind of adaptable changes that we are suggesting. And that's a view from the third floor, how you look into the first floor. So keeping the entity of a building core in matter, how we as, how we also age, we determine, prescribe to medicines and all. So this is something that keeping our soul of the building intact, how we can revolve around it was done in a manner that way.
Like you put trees and all those things. And
Biophilia, well-being, all that comes into practice when,
more of collaborative,
yeah.
and look and feel is changed aesthetically. So that's the changes which we can do. But what about how have you managed from design point of view, like how have you managed to change, keeping in mind the sustainability aspect, like, whatever has been taken off, that is a waste, it's going to the landfills. So how have you worked upon that aspect?
See, as I just mentioned that, all that debris had been gone back to the market wherein you could recycle it as...
Those has been recycled.
Right, tiles or maybe, paint buckets had gone back. So these were certain practices that we had taken up as an initiative while doing up this project particularly. Yeah.
So that's how we can actually do the redesigning and work upon it. So my next question goes to, how can an existing workplace be upcycled efficiently and sustainability is maintained in the market that's witnessing constant shifts? We know that, our environment is pretty dynamic these days. It's like change happens overnight. Things are changing, the material is changing, technology is changing, a lot of changes are happening. So I'll move on to Arun and ask him this question: how do we manage this constant shift, which is never changing?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'll answer it in two parts. First would be the building and the core shell and the high side engineering bit. Second is the interiors bit, because very often the clients are different. If it is a building, then unless there are some kind of commercial reasons, which largely come from the government policies, like suddenly the FAR is increased, or the requirement of parking has changed very significantly. When I started my career, buildings were being built for around 1:2,500 odd square feet. And today we are talking of 1:500 square feet. So in an existing building, obviously you can't provide those requirements. And so, there may be a need to redo the building and the core structure, every 3, 4, 5 decades. So that is one bit. Second bit is what Amit had referred to, that things need to change with times. COVID brought in a lot of sensitivity towards wellness. The microbes have to be either arrested or killed, so that your indoor air quality is possibly better than the outdoor air. And who knows it better than all of us, the Delhiites, that 2 months in a year, it's almost difficult to breathe, even at our homes or outside. And can we do some magic where the indoor air quality in our office is much better? So, we had incidentally piloted this in our office in Gurgaon. And the challenge given to the FM team was that the air quality, even in the worst of months, November, December, has to be better than, let's say, Switzerland outdoor or Minnesota, which is my headquarters in US. And I'm happy to tell you that we achieved that. In most days of the year, our quality, indoor air quality, is better than both the places, Minnesota or Switzerland, of course, outdoor. So those kind of interventions are required, and it didn't cost us too much money. But a lot of very sensitive work pertaining to air quality, biophilia, lighting, filters, etc., were carried out, and we achieved that. So, it's a mix of both. Upscaling is definitely necessary, and then, most of the MNCs follow a leasing model. So, they don't look beyond, let's say, 9 years, 10 years generally, because the things have been evolving, changing so fast. Even the type of business, what used to be initially basic data entry work is possibly not required anymore, because, a lot of things have been automated, etc. While we have gone up the value chain in terms of work requirements, talent, etc., technology jobs are increasing. The ratio of technology jobs in our company is increasing, from what it used to be 20% and 80%. 80% BPO and 20% technology. Now it's almost 50% technology, software developers, and 50% BP. That speaks of the trend. How digitization is making a lot of things redundant, a lot of jobs redundant, while others are being created. So, and so things are changing. So we as real estate managers have to ensure that, we are able to facilitate those changes. So, when I started in this company 11 years back, we had the first generation of design, and today we are sitting on 4th generation of design. Just in 11 years, 4 generations of design. So that's the kind of requirement. All my new offices are built as per the new design, and at the first possible opportunity, we upgrade the existing centers to the new generation. So a lot of designs have collapsed. We used to have a separate design office for software guys and separate for business processing, and now we have collapsed both of them. The sizes of the partitions, small, big, or none, have changed. Lateral, sideways, front partitions, the common areas. Now again, if this hybrid thing has brought in certain new cultural changes, because you have to actually earn the travel to the office. So, to be able to incite those young boys and girls to be able to come to the office, cafeteria plays a big role. So we have a food festival almost every day of the week.
We need to be innovative all the time, bring them on.
Correct. So a lot more tuck shops had to be created in the cafeteria, you were talking about upscaling. So all that had to be done. And similarly, equipments from moving, like a panel, moving to the high engineering side, all equipments have certain life cycle and lifespan. So, we can, through periodical interventions, those lifetimes can be increased. If you just need to change the car in a lift, which generally becomes redundant after 15 odd years, you can, and possibly some of the internal electronics, you can change the life from 15 to 30 years. Similarly, in transformers and, air conditioning equipment and AHUs. So all those interventions from time to time are required. I'm a big fan of spending money periodically rather than in one burst after 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. Just one more example. DLF Center remains my favorite building. It's almost a 50-year-old building, and it still is the most expensive building of possibly entire India. And there's a reason for that. I joined them when that building was 25 years old, and Delhi fire service guys, used to request us that they want to train a new batch, and they didn't have the facilities, and all the fire equipment in my building were working 100%. So I used to give free equipment and free time to the Delhi fire service guys to bring in a batch so that they can train on how to protect and, the fire detection and fighting systems in a tall building. And even after 40, 50 years, it still retains its beauty because we continue to spend money every year in refreshing it, in renewing it, and ensuring that the infrastructure upgrades keep happening periodically.
Yeah, Arun, that's a very big takeaway that, don't wait for the building to deteriorate completely and then spend money, a big capex on it. It's better to have it done on a regular basis depending upon the designs which are changing, needs which are changing, the industry trends which are changing. So that's very, very, very big takeaway. So I'll move on to next question of mine, which is what are some of the design and technological interventions that can be integrated to safeguard redundant cost over the time? So I'll put this question to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, over to you.
Thanks, Navina. I think that's a very relevant question to answer. With ever-evolving needs and the kind of time that we guys are now spending in these buildings, it is very, very important to understand and estimate that we are almost spending 1/3 of our lives in these buildings. So whether these buildings are up to the mark or not, whether these buildings are catering to our health or not, is very, very important to be gauged, right? So yes, there are two different aspects of it. One is design and one is technology enhancement. Design probably impacts the occupant, but technological integrations in any building and technological advancements in any building impacts both the building team and the occupants of that particular building. So it is very important while designing the things the design is not the same as it was. The workspaces that we are currently using are not the same as they used to be around 5-7 years down the line. I think the paradigm shift has happened post-COVID, wherein we have seen a lot of awareness coming onto wellness of the workspaces, openness of the workspaces, hybridness of the workspaces, and adaptability of the workspaces. So yes, I think while designing, there are various factors that we need to keep in mind, which probably were not present in front of the designers as a challenge 4-5 years down the line. But yes, these will keep on evolving. Coming down to technology, yes, technological advancements are very, very important to make sure that the buildings are being upkept to the efficiency. It does not only impact the direct cost, and I think as Sir rightly mentioned, the predictive maintenance is very, very important. Rather than waiting for a breakdown to happen and then probably spending a huge sum of money on that, a predictive maintenance or a preventive maintenance is very, very important. So yes, technologically wise, there are various factors. We'll not be able to enumerate all of these in this short duration of time. But yes, technological wise, be it empanelment or integration of occupancy sensors, or the sensors which kind of controls the heating and cooling of the systems is very, very important these days to keep up the wellness of the occupants. So the wellness might not be a direct cost, but it is an intangible cost to the building owners or the facility managers. So yes, I mean, as Ritika also mentioned, Nestle. So we had a chance to work with Nestle around a couple of months back for the upkeep of their Mysore office. And the design brief that we got from Nestle team is exactly the same what she portrayed here, and probably it must have been drawn from this particular design only, that it has to be open, it has to be a lot of natural light has to be there, a lot of greenery has to be there, and the kind of concept was more or less related to biophilia. So why I'm telling this is that it is not only giants like Nestle who are going with these kind of design and these kind of design briefs. It is almost each and every office occupant who looks forward to kind of have a space wherein he spends his time in a collaborative manner. Rather than working on a 9-to-5 job, they must be happy coming to office. So yes, these things have to be kept in mind. Designing is totally different from what it used to be a couple of years down the line, especially post-COVID. And yes, technologically, there are n number of things that have been here today. And I think as we evolve, 10 years down the line, 10 years ahead of the time, there will be other things as well which keep on evolving. So yes, the building upkeep is very, very important in terms of not only maintaining the costs or the overruns, but to maintain the wellness of that particular occupants of that particular building as well.
Yeah, and the technology changes so fast.
Exactly. So we need to evolve. We need to make sure that we are also evolving.
Yeah, evolving as per the technology.
Yeah. So there is no written guideline that as to what technological advancement we can do today, and will not be obsolete 2 years down the line.
Yeah. Coming back to Arun's point, like every year we have to see that how do we actually upgrade that particular technology also.
Exactly.
Technology changes very fast.
Yeah. So predictive maintenance is very, very important, and I think that's.
Maintenance, as FM we already do it. As FMs, as RE managers, we do that. Apart from preventive, upgrading it, maybe changing the softwares, putting the
smart
softwares in the technological instruments what we are using, equipments what we are using at the facility level.
Exactly. Smart building technologies, integrating the smart building technologies like occupancy sensors, which kind of sense the occupancy of the building and kind of controls the energy saving things, uses of energy saving equipments in the even restrooms, low flow fixtures and all. I mean, there's a lot which needs to be done, and it keeps on evolving with the time. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that yes, the building managers, the FMs are evolving and they are cognizant of the technology that is there in the market.
So that's a very, very, very valid point. I'll move on to the next question quickly. I'll give it to Captain Holroyd. So what are the challenges faced by the FM team on ground while upcycling the old workspaces and workplace fit-outs and the campuses? What are the challenges? So that's very tricky and very, very important question.
Yeah, thank you, Ravina, for the question. First of all, I mean, I've had 4 other panelists speaking before me, and quite a few things have been covered. I mean, it's an irony when the first panel discussion was on new spaces, right, where we talked of Gen X, Gen Y, even Alpha, and now we're coming back to it's basically nothing but a retrofit of the building. So as an FM, as a facility manager, my take is that, first of all, like what Arun also said, that the DLF center, it's a 50-year-old building. So it's a building which is an aging infrastructure. You don't know what is going to happen. It's something like, what is happening at the Terminal 1, what happened. So that was also an aging infrastructure where people probably thought, that it could sustain that particular weight or it would have been done much better. But it didn't happen. So you are dealing with an aging infrastructure. You are trying to just do a makeover it, right? And there is a constraint of everything. You have your HVACs, you have your DG sets, you have your transformers, and you have electric connections where you have a sanctioned load for that, and all of a sudden you are changing all those things. So it is a big task. It is a nightmare for an FM manager for the same thing. The other thing is that there are compliance issues. The building which was built 50 years, 30 years, 40 years down the line, there was a certain building code which was applicable to them at that point of time. building codes have changed. We've got a latest one which has come up, and where the laws are very stringent. And they have a particular height, like everybody knows, for which it is applicable. Beyond that, it is not applicable. Beyond that, which is applicable, below that, it is not applicable. So you have to take into consideration the building codes, right? There are other compliance and regulatory issues, like for fire. You have to have a setback where the vehicle can get into and move out without, having any sort of obstacle in between. Probably the older buildings would have, a facade where you have an entrance, which is about 3.5 meters in height. And the new fire engines which are coming, they are highly equipped, so probably you'll have to do away with the gate. So these are certain things which are also there. Now, for an FM obviously when he does all these things, there is a budget constraint, right? He will put up a particular budget, even if you do it in phased manners. You are dealing with a structure where you have a particular budget, and when you start working on it, all of a sudden you realize that the plumbing routing which you had thought is probably not the same that you had thought. So what is going to happen? There is going to be a runoff in the budget. So you have to be careful for that also. The other thing is that now with the new age things coming in, sustainability has to also be taken in mind. The products that you are using, whenever you're doing a retrofit, you need to have those products which are, sustainable enough. And like the previous panel was talking of, they talked of circular economy, they talked of, durable products, and also what type of product that at the end of the day when you're using, you can't use a paint which has a very high VOC. You're going to cause, obviously it will cause some mental sickness or some physical sickness to the people who are sitting there. Chairs like the ones which we are sitting on, ergonomics again, it is a part of wellness. So we have to be careful on those aspects. There are a number of other issues also, the smaller issues, like when you are working with a building to do a retrofit, it's an operational building that you are working on. So there's going to be disruptions in that. So you have to take care of those disruptions also. That's very important, because all of a sudden you may say that this particular zone, is inaccessible to the occupants. So what do you do? Where do you fit them in? So that is also another thing that you need to keep in mind. Then when you're dealing with a new age building, you don't have the problem of vendors. So you have a number of vendors which will be dealing with different things. You would have here a guy who's doing the plumbing, the guy who's doing the AC, the guy who's doing, the plastering, or somebody who's doing the fit outs over there. So you are dealing and coordinating all those and getting all of them on one particular platform is a difficult job. It's a nightmare for. Another thing what is important is the accessibility that you have to the building. Previously, like what Amit had said, that we have not yet even now today, we have not catered to those those who cannot access the building. I won't call them handicaps, but who are physically who cannot come into the building. And then again, we at that point of time, probably 30-40 years back, you never had a toilet which was especially meant for those who cannot use a normal toilet. And the other issues that also come up are the gender equality also. Today in India we don't have much of these problems, but yes, it is one of the problems that are going to come up. When you use the washrooms, who's going to use which washroom? So that is something which needs to be thought of. I mean, we need to think on those lines as to what exactly. It's a difficult job, and here another thing that is to be added is the soft skills of the FM manager. He needs to tackle the problem properly. He needs to have a problem solving upgrading, yes, upgrading his own skills plus his own skills plus the skills of the team. So it works both ways. And of course, there are targets which are sometimes easy to meet, but in most of the retrofit buildings, the problem is that you you generally overshoot the targets. Overshooting the target means two things. There's a cost which is involved, and there are people that are involved also. So you will be engaging them for a longish time. So there are limitations which probably have to be, you have to go right into the, you have to do a proper, CBA before doing it, a cost-benefit analysis to do all these things. So these are a few points that come to my mind. So we can always take up.
It is important for us to maintain the cost also, as well as manage the management and the employees.
You will have an OPEX cost also which is there, because you'll have an OPEX cost also which will probably increase. Right? And how do you justify that cost? You have to have a proper justification for that. Because the CFO is going to breathe on your neck as to why my cost is going up.
That's my next question coming. How do you convince? How do you convince our CFOs?
See,
the capital expenditure we have.
It's again, it's soft skills as well as your skills. How you when you have to get to the CFO's office, first of all, let's get it into everybody's head that you need to have a proper presentation made to him. You cannot just walk into his office and say that we will discuss it, because understand that any retrofit project will have a budget constraint. The budgets are very important, but before preparing the budget, as an FM manager, you need to get into each and every cost, each and every line item for that, right? You have to explain to him why should we do it. And we have to make him understand also that what you are doing now is in a phased manner. Anyway, we have to upgrade the facility of wherever you are staying.
Quick 2 pointers if you can give. How do we convince the CFO?
Budget constraints. Secondly,
Budget is always from his end. Okay, you don't have budget. We don't have budget.
That is how you have to present to him that what you are doing. And secondly, when you are upgrading the facilities, that you are making the facility as good as the new. Okay? You will have a new facility where people will come in and sit out.
Maybe we can say that in long run the operational aspects.
Arun, you would like to add something?
Will reduce. Yeah.
I think the easiest way to answer these 2 pointers, how to convince a CFO, is to show them the ROI and scare them what if not done. That's the best thing. Either you show them the ROI, that what is it that we are gaining out of it, or you tell them that
ROI needs to match the leasing period.
exactly, yeah. Or
life cycle.
Or we
Right, from cradle to grave. So if you add all those things, probably he'll understand.
exactly. And second point is show them the repercussion if we do not invest this budget, then what we might face in future.
Yeah, the operational cost also will
Exactly,
reduce if it is an energy efficient product we are putting.
Operational costs, I think there are a lot of things as well. Tenant retainment of your tenants, occupants. There are various other things which will depend if you are retrofitting your building timely or not.
Yeah, I think taking a step back, this can possibly be divided into 3 buckets. One is the risk mitigation, and that's a zero tolerance area for organizations. So it's easy. No CFO worth his salt can ever say no to that. If it has come as a statutory requirement, let's say a Disability Act kind of requirement for buildings, or the risk of business disruptions because your UPS will crank because the batteries were not changed for 5 years. So those are the things which no payback period or ROI is necessary. They have to be done. And no CFO can ever say no. Second bit would be the hygiene factors that, and they are, because they'll never have a payback kind of relation, because they are for the image of the company, for employee retention, employee satisfaction, and ensuring that, they love the environment, it remains effective, it remains, productive for them. So these are the hygiene factors, which again depends on the culture of the company. So if the company as a culture treats this as important, then even then the approvals happen very quickly. If the office requires a coat of paint, or the carpet is 5 years old and has a lot of stains, needs to be changed, or possibly the upholstery needs to be better, these happen and they'll never have a relation with a payback or ROI. And third is the upscaling required because of business needs. You know, they require experience center or they require some special facilities, etc. So normally the money comes from the business for those asks. So I have frankly never faced a problem with any CFO I've worked with.
So I'll quickly move on to Chandresh for our last question, which is what are the environmental benefits of upcycling?
Yeah, okay, so thank you so much for your question. You know, we all have heard a lot about sustainability in the entire session. So I think let me just kind of quickly share what we are doing at Cognizant, because I think and it will answer a few of the queries around, you know, how do you go about getting approvals or funding approvals and so on and so forth. So we are actually in the middle of entire real estate transformation, which we started almost 12 months back. And the whole strategy is to look at, from a perspective of talent, you know, we want to be an organization where we attract the best talent so that we can deliver best service to our customers. So, you know, how do you do that, right? How do you ensure that, A, you just don't attract the right talent, but also retain them? You know, how do you give them a best-in-class work experience? And that's extremely important. So, you know, as even in the previous session, it was mentioned that, you know, they are your customers. So from an internal real estate team, all the employees are your customers, and how do you really give them the best experience? So there are two or three things which we are doing. One is we have a very large portfolio. We have almost close to 25 million square feet of office space spread across multiple cities in India. We own a lot of asset, and we have a pretty large leased portfolio as well. So I'll share three examples what we've done. One, to create, and then also the strategy is, while we are going towards hybrid, where we want our associates to come 3 days in the office, but the point is to have a pull factor and then not really have as a mandate. And how do you do that? You know, how do you win the commute conversation which was there? You know, it has to be a pull rather than a mandate. So the first one was we've done some consolidation in the city of Hyderabad, and then this month we've inaugurated 1 million square feet of office space, which is a futuristic design, taking care of all the parameters, where almost 10,000 associates will come and work. That got inaugurated this month. So one is to really look at where do you want to open up new centers. The second strategy was on going to places where the talent is. So we did our internal analysis on where our talent is. And to support that, we are now having a tier 2 strategy and opening up offices in cities like Bhubaneswar and Indore happened this month, where we already have associates. You know, how do we bring them to the offices? That's the pull factor we're really talking about. And then the third is looking at our portfolio and seeing what refurbishment requirements we have. So we are going to be initiating one of the largest refurbishment projects very soon, which is on a phased manner for next 3 to 5 years, where we are looking at the portfolio, what we want to retain, after doing a complete deep analysis on how that will help us for next 10 years from a perspective of giving best-in-class work environment to our colleagues. Thank you.
So we are already run out of time, so I'll just quickly wrap it up. Thank you so much, panelists, and you have been really put a lot of insights into how do we upscale our properties, our buildings, and it gives a lot of environmental benefits also, because the things debris which will come out of a demolition is definitely saved out to go to the landfills. That's the environmental beneficial we can count on. And yeah, of course, we have also learned that how do we convince our CFOs, CapEx, how do we create a workplace which is more to do with the next generation. So all those aspects are the takeaways for this particular panel. And thank you so much, all of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nabina, and thank you so much to each one of my panel. I know it's been late, and I can still see crowd in the hall sitting, so that's witness to how interesting and intriguing the panel was. Thank you so much once again, and I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Atul Sharma, who is the Regional Manager for North 1 at MRF, and from Captain Edwin Saldana, who is the Managing Director at Bunidam, and Ashima Bhatia, who is the Senior Area Manager for projects at Hafele, to please give each one of our speakers here for so brilliantly encapsulating the topic of upcycling workspaces, and it just made it better that each of you all had the experience coming from that particular domain. Thank you so much for that. So I would love to call on stage my presenters to please give in our token of appreciation. We'd first like to start with the moderator of this particular panel, Navina. Navina, thank you so much. She had a long, I think, lengthy discussion with each of the members before this event started too. We second have Captain Alroy Kalako, who is a veteran with 35 years of experience. That's really commendable to hear your perspectives on the topic. We next have Mr. Amit Varshney. Yeah, who's the executive. We next have Mr. Arun Khanna from UHG Group. Mr. Arun Khanna, thank you so much. You opened it with great insights. We next have Mr. Chandresh Natu from Cognizant. And we have Ritika Basan from Space Matrix. That was a beautiful case study she also showed to us. And we finally have Mr. Sanjeev Bhandari from Airbrick Infra. Thank you so much, everyone, for the final session of this evening and for encapsulating the entire essence of the Smart Office Summit together in your this. We would love to have you in the front for a photo op. And with this, we come to the closing session of this evening, and I would love to thank each one of you present here for your patience, for your time, taking out your time in the day for joining us in this particular platform, the Smart Office Summit. We have the speakers. Unfortunately, I know we couldn't take many questions. Actually, we did not take any questions because we were running late on, short on time. But the speakers are here. We have our networking sessions going on. We have the stalls there. Please join us for dinner and drinks. And open to network with each of the speakers here on the platform.
Architectural lighting solution that simulates a productive working environment and offers limitless design possibilities. From recessed to suspended, Havells' versatile impressions range allows architects and designers to fully unleash their creativity and to perfectly illuminate every type of office layout. These human-centric luminaires mimic the variance of natural light color throughout the day, replicating the sun indoors with dim warm light in the morning, bright white light during noon, and dim warm light by evening. These ergonomic lights have been shown to significantly increase productivity, creativity, health, and well-being in the office environment, and provide the benefits of natural light even to windowless offices. At the heart of the impressions range technology is human comfort and health. They have extremely low unified glare rating of less than 6 for indirect light and less than 10 for direct light. Impressions range is also compatible with various smart control platforms like PoE, Tally Analog, and wireless RF technology. With this, we are able to obtain real-time data analysis of occupancy and system health, space optimization, and set a preferable ambient scene setting. The top-of-the-line Mirage series features slim LED profiles that stand out for their near-to-invisible light source and highly efficient and clean design. The Mirage range features high transmittance, special micro-reflector optics with deglaring covers, which give the incredible effect of focused glare-less task light, yet ensuring good uniformity and vertical illumination without any visible light source. Aside from being standalone suspended fixtures, they are perfect for continuous row mounting to create virtually endless and seamless lines of light. With customized connectors, designers can create innumerable light configurations and patterns. Special micro-reflector optics with deglaring covers have been added to the design to achieve precise low-glare task light without compromising on vertical illumination and ambient lighting. Mirage F is a freestanding light with near-to-invisible light source and clean-cut aesthetics. Mirage F features an inbuilt occupancy and daylight sensor and specially developed touch control panel for individual on-off dimming and color tuning, making personalized human-centric lighting accessible for individual workstations, private cabins, and desks. These high-efficacy lights also have an up-down feature which allows focused task light and a wide indirect light, ensuring great uniformity over the space. The Crescent LED has a graceful curvilinear design with a distinctive half-moon shape. The elegant luminaire provides soft, symmetric, and ultra-wide direct light distribution over the workspace. It meets UGR less than 19 across the line of sight of occupant. Destello is a slim LED profiles that can be recessed, mounted, or suspended. With UGR less than 19, these lights are perfect for seamless row mounting or limitless creative designs. These donut and circular luminaires come in multiple sizes and have an effective height of 70 mm, delivering diffuse planar and low glare light in high ceiling areas. The unique shape of